Maybe I'm just a sucker for punishment, but I can't seem to keep away from this part of far north Queensland.
Chris has left the surrounds of Bondi for a working holiday in tropical Cairns.
Up until now, each of the trips I've made up here have been pretty quick visits to operate on a goldfish, to help a bull, and to even try to catch a snake. Obviously, I've made a bit of an impression because these guys have asked me to stay up here for an entire week and help them out in the vet clinic. This could get interesting.
The doc is answering a call for help from his old mate Dr. Doug English, who runs the busy Marlin Coast Veterinary Hospital.
How are you, Dougie?
Chris, how you going?
Hey, good to see you
again. Yeah.
Mate, I'm nervous. So, is it fish up first?
No, the fish is right. Well, you fixed the fish. He's going well.
The last time Chris was at the clinic with Doug, he was thrown in the deep end.
If Faye's oxygen levels fall too far, then he won't make it through.
Local identity Fatty the goldfish required a risky operation to remove a large tumour from his head.
That's out. So that's it there. A decent lump.
We're going to set you up in that room there and we can go ahead with all the work that we've got lined up for you.
Beautiful. Thanks, mate. I'll just get in here now.
Yeah, poor little girl.
But before Chris gets a chance to settle in, his first patient of the day is waiting in reception. Amanda and her son Jesse are extremely concerned about their beloved Jack Russell, Snoopy.
I'm here because she's just recently started doing a lot of frothing in her mouth and really irritated, and then she started throwing up.
So tell me, what's been going on with Snoopy?
Last night, she just started, she's done it a couple of times, but lots of frothing and red lips and started to throw up and just was really ill afterwards.
Is it the first time it's happened?
No, not the first time. We've actually got some footage of her when what was going on last night.
Yeah.
You want to see that?
I'd love to.
You got it, Jess?
Yeah, I'll grab it. Yeah, wow. And you can see that saliva really building up. Okay. It's quite full on at times, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not nice.
Clearly something is affecting her body in a big way. Okay, let's have a look over here, Smooth. So her mouth looks okay now. That's the interesting thing. The colour's fine, and then she's producing just the right amount of saliva. She doesn't look dehydrated. So.
And her eyes, she kind of gets a really glazed look in her eyes. Mm-hmm. They look fine now too.
The confusing thing for me right now is that Snoopy seems quite normal. Yeah, sure enough, that's fine as well. So Snoopy right now is a perfectly normal dog. When she has these episodes, she sounds like she's in pain. She's in a confused state. She's hypersalivating. She's pouring in her mouth.
Yeah. And the other interesting thing is there's two of them, and the other one doesn't. That's not going on.
Yes, that's amazing. It's hard to know exactly what this could be, but when you look at those signs, you've got to think she may be having either a mild seizure, she could be being poisoned by something, she could be eating something she shouldn't be. Right now, though, it is a complete mystery. There's something very unique to her that's happening.
Yeah.
I guess for me, the thing that I really need to do is actually see what happens in her backyard, because something's happening.
Yeah.
And it's happening more and more often, and it's getting more and more serious.
Yeah.
Chris is planning to check up on Snoopy later. He's hoping a home visit will provide vital answers to the little Jack Russell's bizarre attacks.
So I do think we need to sort this out and actually sort it out now.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lisa. Hi.
This is Smudgy.
Smudge. No. Poor little guy, bring him through. Let me have a look at him.
At the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH, Lisa's first patient is 7-year-old Smudge. Owner Jane was distraught when Smudge went missing almost 2 weeks ago.
I didn't know what had happened to him and I couldn't find him anywhere, and I've looked high and low for him, and I was starting to get very concerned as to what had happened to him and his well-being and if I would ever see him again. Very concerned.
All right, well, let me take a look at him.
After 12 days on the run, Smudge suddenly reappeared with a mysterious leg injury.
Snake bite was a concern, whether he'd been attacked by a dog or something else, or even possibility of being knocked up by a car.
We kind of just have to look at him and try and get some clues as to where he's been and how he got injured, and just work through each part of his body.
Yeah.
That is shocking.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
This leg is just sort of flopping in the breeze there. He can move it, but it's completely unstable. There's a wound there as well. Wow, look at that. When I feel Smudge's leg, there is crunching under my fingers. There's a wound that's oozing pussy material. My worry is that he's broken that leg and it's infected. I'm concerned that that wound has penetrated into that fracture. He could lose the leg from that infection and his whole body can become unwell.
All right.
Oh, poor baby.
Hey, Shan.
Good morning. What are we doing here today?
Little Konya. We're here to see Dr. Chris.
Okay, I'll let him over here.
Great,
Take a
thank
seat.
you.
Back in Cairns, Peter has arrived at the Marlin Coast Vet Clinic with Sonny, a tiny 8-week-old sun conure parrot who is unable to use his right leg.
So here we have a sun Konya from Bird World in Kuranda, and it was presented with a very sore leg. We feel it's got a cord on something at some stage, and that's what's done the damage to the leg. This one in particular, we've all become really attached to at Bird World because it is just so friendly and really craves that interaction.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm Chris.
Peter,
Hey, nice to meet you, Peter. You got a little sun conure in here?
Yeah, little sun
Thank you,
Konya.
Laura. All right, come on through.
Thank you.
It's always a worry when baby birds are brought into the vet because they're so small, they're so fragile that any sort of fall from a nest or a perch, it usually doesn't end up so well. So he's just starting to try to learn to fly right now.
Yeah, he's just been flapping his wings a lot and really starting to explore his territory.
So is there a chance he was trying to fly when he's injured that leg?
There's every chance that he may have been flying.
Yeah. The first thing I want to do is probably the most important thing. So you can see when I put my finger near this left leg of his, he grabs it. I just want to check his perching reflex. So obviously in that leg it's great.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't have a perching reflex in this other leg, we do have problems. So we just need to see we're getting some sort of response there. And there's not a lot. And that does worry me that we might have some nerve damage. It's clear that when Sonny hit that ground, he hit it hard. Now, the worry I've got right now is that if he's fractured that leg really badly and it can't be put back together, then there is a chance this leg will need to be amputated. I can actually move the bottom part of that leg separately to the top part.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. He's remarkably relaxed. His heart rate's actually quite low.
Yeah, he's a very chilled out bird.
Sonny's the most appropriate name for him because he's just happy.
Just loves being around people and having that attention.
Yeah.
And loves a scratch.
Really loves a scratch.
Yeah.
It's easy to see why Peter cares so much for Sonny. I mean, he's not only a stunning bird to look at, he's also incredibly friendly. But the reality is, with his paper-thin bones and a fall from any height, there's a chance these bones could be fractured beyond repair. These toes are really pointing straight out, whereas these ones can point right around. So he's got a problem there where that foot's actually able to spin, which isn't nice.
Not nice.
I can feel and poke and prod as much as I like, but it's very hard to feel the exact structure of those bones. They're so small.
Tiny.
So I think, if you don't mind, I might take an X-ray now and hopefully get some answers.
That would be great.
That bone is completely smashed. It's just in so many different pieces. That is shocking. What has Smudge done?
At Sash, Lisa is stunned that Smudge has survived his runaway ordeal with such an horrific injury.
This cat has been missing for a couple of weeks. His leg is smashed to pieces and he still managed to walk home, eat a full meal and give his owner a cuddle. I mean, it blows my mind how brave animals are, and we really owe it to Smudge to fix that leg and get him back on track. You must be feeling very sick. Hey Steve, could you please look at these radiographs?
Yeah, sure.
Lisa wants to see if specialist surgeon Dr. Steve Fernside can fix the nasty break in Smudge's leg.
Oh dear, that's smashed, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
So no wonder he couldn't get home.
Yeah.
He was stuck out in the bush with that.
Well, there's a wound over the fracture that's oozing pussy material as well, so I'm worried it's an open fracture that's
Sounds like it.
infected now.
Well, what we need to do is get him anaesthetised, and then we'll have a look at his wound and assess that, and then we'll work out how we're going to fix that fracture, because that certainly is not going to heal without some fairly major intervention.
You're a good cat.
Steve and the team need to act fast if there is any hope of saving Smudge's leg.
So brave. Whenever one of my patients is handed over to the surgeons, I'd always feel a little bit worried, but I know Smudge is in good hands.
We can't get this fracture healed, or the bone won't heal, or we just can't align it properly. The bone is too badly broken. Worst case scenario, Smudge might lose his leg.
I just need to x-ray this guy's leg here. All right, so this might be a little bit tricky, but if I can sneak my hand in over here.
At the Marlin Coast Vet Hospital in Cairns, Sonny's x-ray is underway.
All right, I'm pretty happy there. Oops, regularly again.
Chris is worried the 8-week-old son Conure has fractured his leg in a failed attempt to fly. Vet nurse Shannon is assisting Chris.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Beautiful, thank you. You okay? Hey, you came out of that, didn't you? It's all right, buddy. Still determined to move, aren't you? Let's have a look.
Looks like a nice break there, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of what I feared. All right, thank you. I'll go and have a chat with them.
Okay.
Cheers. All right, so I have some news. That leg isn't dislocated, but it is broken.
Oh no.
Yeah. The worry I've got is that if I try to put a pin through there, I could quite easily fracture the bone even more, cause it to splinter, and from there, it may never come back together. I think the best approach here is to try to actually splint that leg. It's a lot more gentle. You're actually doing everything from the outside and leave the rest up to Sonny. I'm gonna give him a little bit of an anaesthetic, just so he's sleepy, so he's still, and then do my best to try to put this leg back together. I'm already concerned about possible nerve damage in this leg. The last thing I want to do is manipulate the leg too much and cause more damage. The less risks we take with Sonny right now, the better. It's a bad break.
You can feel it?
Yeah.
Chris is hoping a splint will help the baby parrot's fragile bones heal back in place.
There's probably no better way to tell if Sonny's asleep than this. Apologies, Sonny. Okay.
Oh, that was good.
Should be the worst leg waxing of all time. If there's a downside to using the splint, it's probably not as stable as using a pin, but at the same time it's safer. You can really see just how swollen and also how discoloured that leg's become since this break. And it's what we're really dealing with here, is just how much inflammation is around this area.
Before Chris can splint Sonny's leg, he must accurately align the 8-week-old's broken bones.
Okay, so we're just putting some tape in here just to lock this in place initially.
If this first stage is not done correctly, Sonny's leg will not heal.
It is incredibly fiddly, just you're dealing with such a small leg, and everything is made so much more difficult by that. All right, first layer's in there now. So this is probably the most crucial part. This isn't just a matter of getting some tape and some splinting material and hoping for the best. If this is going to work, it has to be made to measure. I'm working down to the absolute millimetre here. Okay, so I'm now trying to stick this splint to the leg, and it's once again quite fiddly, but hopefully this will work. Having such dainty little hands doesn't really help.
Heart rate's lowered.
Suddenly, Shannon notices an alarming change in the tiny bird's heart rate.
Birds like Sunny have this tiny little heart that beats as fast as it can, but it can stop at any moment. And as a vet, that's what you fear most.
Sunny is now in serious trouble.
It's really quite a tricky procedure, so there's going to be a fair bit of grunting and a little bit of swearing while we get this back into position.
At SASH, Specialist Surgeon Dr. Steve Fernside is starting the complicated surgery to repair Smudge's smashed leg.
The bone should line up like that, and basically the bone is lined up like that. All right, I'll start this guy off.
Steve will use pins to form a brace around the break.
Righto, that's good. So far, so good. First pin we've placed through Smudge's bone, just below his knee. So what we're going to now do is place another pin just here above his ankle, and then we're going to use those two pins to pull the bone apart to try and put it back in alignment. See how we go. Righto.
With the second pin in place, it's time to see if the bones can be realigned.
All right, let's have a look and see if this works. Let's just tighten these up. Oh. Kinking, stretching it, what's happening? Not working. God, that bone is really stuck in there tight. The bones are so badly displaced, they're not even in the same ballpark. They don't want to go, but they've got to.
Heart rate's lowered.
In Cairns, Sonny, the little sun conure, has given Chris a scare during the surgery to repair the parrot's broken leg.
He's just lightened up.
Yeah, because he's a bit faster now than what he was when he was under.
Okay. The worry with bird anaesthetics is they can actually go quite deep too quickly and you can lose them. But if Sonny's doing anything right now, he's actually a little bit light, so he's almost more awake than we want. So try and be quick, but at the same time get it right, because he's probably been under anaesthetic for long enough now. Okay, so I'm pretty happy here, Shannon.
Yep.
He's got full range of movement in those toes. We're done.
Excellent. I'll turn him off.
Yeah. The hope with this splint is that it'll keep the bone in Sonny's leg still long enough for it to heal, but also keep his toes in the right position. If we do all of those things, then hopefully that perching reflex will start to come back.
Don't think a cat's going to be that hard to put back together because they're only small, but so much muscle contracture there. very hard to pull everything back into the right position.
At SASH, Dr. Steve Fernside is struggling to realign Runaway Smudge's badly smashed leg.
That obviously shouldn't be bulging like that. I think we're going to have to go in there and just try and reduce it manually. This was the bit that was poking out nearly through the skin, and that's the other bit up there. They've been locked out of position for a couple of weeks, and they've all contracted around, and we just can't get the two pieces of bone to come back like that. And we've had to try and pull them out together like that, and then we're going to try and push them together and straighten them out like that. This poor little cat, fair dinkum. As long as his knee and his ankle line up, then we'll be right. I'm getting there now.
Okay, well I think that's all right.
Oh, mate, that is pretty close. I'd be happy with that.
Okay.
That is not, it's not bloody gun barrel straight, but gee, it's not far off. His leg is back in alignment, his knee and his ankle are in alignment, he's got good movement of the leg. I reckon that's going to work.
Smudge will be stuck with a leg brace for at least 6 weeks. It won't be removed until the fragile bones are fully mended.
Just got to get it to heal now in that position.
Hello? You got anything to say? Hey son, come here.
In Cairns, after a death-defying fall during an attempted flight, Sonny is now ready to return to his home at Birdworld Kuranda.
Feeling all right?
Chris has put a splint on the Sun Cogneur's tiny leg. This should hold the broken bones in place long enough for the baby Parrot to make a full recovery.
We getting it back? A loving feeling? Yeah, that's what I thought. Peter's here to pick you up. Yep. But she won't pick you up if you pick at your bandage. Deal? Yeah. Okay, let's go, buddy.
Really looking forward to seeing Sunny. Really missed that bird while I've been away, so yeah, excited to see come back and hopefully everything's gone really well.
Look who's here.
Hello.
There we go.
Hello, beautiful. How are you?
So, he's making a good recovery. Oh, hello. You're back, aren't you? So, you will notice that he's now wearing a bright red sock.
He is.
But it's a magical sock.
Very pretty.
It is. So, it's a sock that's going to keep that leg of his nice and still.
Oh, that looks great.
And you'll find that, given a bit of time, he's going to start putting some weight on that leg, but the fact he's not really using it too much right now is good.
Yeah.
Because it'll give a good chance to heal.
Oh, that looks wonderful.
Yeah.
Hello.
Is that what you want?
Oh, see, he's liking the scratch now.
Yeah, that's right. Sonny's already had to deal with so much in his 8 weeks of life. His first flight didn't go so well, but I'm hoping with a bit of luck and a bit of healing, he'll be clear for takeoff pretty soon. There you go.
Thank you very much.
It's all yours. And a nice little present at the end, thank you. You should go before any more of those come out.
Yeah, it's going to get worse.
Yeah, it is. Okay,
Thank you very much, Chris.
See you, buddy.
Bye. You're good. Let's go home, Sonny.
Hi, Chris. Come out this way.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you for coming.
The next day, Chris is making a house call in Edmonton on the outskirts of Cairns to check in on Snoopy. The little Jack Russell is having frequent unexplained attacks in the backyard that are causing severe salivation and distress.
It's quite full on at times, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not nice.
So who's...
This is Scrappy, the little one.
Scrappy and Snoopy.
And Snoopy.
Wow, they're similar.
Yeah, sisters.
there's a very good reason why I've essentially come to Amanda's backyard here, because this problem is happening with increasing severity, increasing frequency, and the worry is that if it happens again and somehow Snoopy gets a bigger dose of whatever it is, it could kill her. Something within this area here could be causing what we're seeing with Snoopy.
Yeah.
But working it out isn't going to be easy. I mean, I'd like to start by looking at the plants.
Yes.
So this is tiger grass here,
Yeah.
and then a mondo grass underneath. Now, neither of these are toxic. So even if they were chewing on them, it shouldn't be causing any sort of irritation, any sort of signs that we're seeing. Are you using any pesticides or any chemicals in the yard?
Only seaweed spray, that's all I use, or chicken poo.
That should be fine.
Yep.
Okay, wow. All right, so we've got some toadstools here. They'll cause vomiting, they'll cause some diarrhea, they'll cause a little bit of erratic behaviour, but they generally don't cause the salivation. Maybe it's not such a big deal. Plus, you know, they haven't been disturbed. I'm pretty sure if they liked them, they wouldn't still be here.
Yep.
Okay. I was hoping that a walk around this yard would somehow show me a toxic plant that had been chewed on, or maybe a chemical that had been left out. I'll be honest, this is a tough situation because I'm not really getting any closer to finding an answer for Amanda and for the family. What I do know, though, is that this problem is happening in this backyard. Really, the only way to know for sure is to watch these dogs around the clock until Snoopy has one of those attacks.
Okay. Are you staying up all night tonight?
I'm not, but a camera is.
Okay, all right.
So all the possibilities are really covered by this shot here. We've got the pond. We've also got some of the toadstools over here. We've also got these fence lines here. Given our location, I do have a sneaking suspicion about what might be to blame. The video is going to tell us the truth. Okay, so fingers crossed.
All right.
Obviously don't want any disasters from these guys, but I want some information.
Okay, excellent, thank you.
All right, it's in your hands.
Great.
Much. Hey, what's going on, Mr. Tubbs? Not wanting to eat, it's not like you.
At Sash, Smudge isn't recovering as quickly as Lisa hoped after surgery to repair his shattered leg.
Sweetheart, come on. The surgery went well, but he's not eating. You eat and then you'll be able to go home. Okay? We'll just give him a bit more time, try him with some more tasty food, and hopefully he'll start eating soon. You're a good boy.
It's not surprising Smudge is feeling miserable. After 12 days on the run, he finally found his way home, but with a badly broken leg.
Wow, look at that. That is shocking.
Dr. Steve feared it would have to be amputated.
Oh dear. That's smashed, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
That is absolutely
and
smashed.
there's a wound over the fracture.
No wonder he couldn't get home.
Yeah. Hi, Smudge. How
Hello,
you
Smudgy.
feeling today, buddy?
Come on, big guy. Let's have a look at you.
Hey, bud.
His toes look good. They're not too swollen. And
Yeah.
the dressing looks clean and stuff.
Perfect.
Seems to be moving the leg around all right.
Hey, bud's that feeling a lot better.
Good boy, mate.
Not what
There you go, Smudgy.
fixed the boy. Hey? Now, Smudge, you just got to brighten up and eat something and then you can go home. How about that? You're a good boy.
He's a lovely cat.
In far north Queensland, Chris is returning to visit Snoopy.
Hey, Amanda.
Hi, Chris.
But on his arrival, he is shocked to find the little Jack Russell right in the middle of one of her distressing attacks.
I could see, yeah, she's drooling now.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, there you go. There.
It was really, really frothy before,
Yeah.
and fluffy, and she's been eating grass and...
Wow, you can see it's really bubbling out there now.
Yeah. Well, Snoopy came in and she had froth coming out of her mouth and she was clawing, trying to get it out.
Interesting thing is that this is the body's natural response to something that's really irritating that mouth.
Yeah.
Because you can see that it's trying to flush it out by producing all that saliva.
Okay.
I think, can you get me a bucket of water?
Sure.
Is that all right? If Snoopy has taken on board something that is toxic, then naturally we have to try to remove it. The way I'm going to do it is by using a bucket of water and some swabs. and hopefully clean her mouth right out. Her heart rate's quite high, so there's clearly something going on in her body right now that is causing her just to go a little bit haywire. What I want to do is just give her mouth a flush. You see it just, her gum's a little bit red, her tongue's quite red. And just seeing that bubbling saliva there, now that we've cleaned out her mouth, I'm gonna see what happens.
Okay.
So immediately, she looks more relaxed, doesn't she?
Yeah. Yep. And there's no drool.
There's no drool.
Yeah.
So this is, I guess, probably good news, because what we're seeing is the fact that if you can remove whatever it is that's irritating her mouth straight away, she is okay almost straight away.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a remarkable turnaround, and I'd imagine that was probably not a severe attack from...
Yeah. No, not nearly as bad as I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the fact that we can resolve it so quickly by just cleaning her mouth out, it's a pretty important clue.
Yeah.
Did that video work last night, as far as you know?
As far as I know.
Yeah. Can we have a look at that?
Sure.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
You okay? Yeah? Okay. I've got to say, I do have a nagging suspicion about what might be causing this, but it doesn't explain why one dog is affected and not the other. But the video should tell us either way. Okay, there's not much happening. See these things here that look like they could be dog poos? I don't think they are, because one just moved.
Cane toads.
Cane toads. So you've got cane toads hopping around your backyard at night, and now you've got Jack Russells. So we still don't really have our answer until the dogs come in.
Oh no.
This is the greatest squeaky toy of all time.
Oh no.
Look at them. So you've got Scrappy there and Snoopy, but look who's the one that goes in hard.
Snoopy.
Snoopy. Scrappy is a bit of a bystander. Snoopy, though, is getting right in there. Cane toads have a poison in glands behind their shoulders. They can actually squirt that out or just excrete it onto their skin. And you see, watch Snoopy here, puts it in her mouth. They say that the effect of the poison is quite similar to marijuana, so she may actually be getting quite seriously high off these toads, and each night she goes out there and has her hit of it. The problem is, though, that to have that poison every night, it's going to start to really play havoc with the system. Today, Snoopy was quite lucky. It looked like she only had a very small dose of that poison. But now we have to find a way to wean her off her little addiction. And for that, I have to pull out a few tricks.
You ready to go home? Hey?
It's a big day for runaway cat Smudge.
Good boy.
After marathon surgery, he has recovered his appetite, and now his owner Jane is here to take him home.
A few days ago, Jane and her parents didn't even know if they'd ever see their beloved Smudge again. They came here with the prospect of him losing a leg, and today he's going home with all 4 legs, and that's pretty amazing.
Now, I'm going to send you home on one condition. You stay inside and you don't run away. I don't know what that was all about. All right? No more runaways.
All right, buddy. Let's get out of here. Hello.
Here's my little man.
Smudgy. Hello, cutie boy.
Hello, my cutie boy.
Smudge's owner, Jane, is clearly a very dedicated owner. She has been through so much with Smudge. It's a big ordeal to have this type of surgery with lots of adjustments and lots of procedures, and it's finally the time where she's 2/3 of the way there, and then once that apparatus comes off, he'll be running free, a happy cat. Bye, Smudgy. You get cuddles? Yeah, you've become very cuddly. You have.
Alrighty.
Good
Here
luck.
we go. Thank you.
See you soon.
Will do.
Bye, Smudge. He's going to have to spend his time inside, not jumping up and down on things, and that's going to be a challenge for Jane and her family, and I don't envy that at all. Good luck containing him.
What are you doing in there? You're looking for cane toads.
I am. I'm looking for them.
I've got you rattled.
I've looked absolutely, and I can't
Come on
find
out.
one.
I've got some help for you here, okay?
Back in far north Queensland, Chris has returned to Amanda's house with a possible solution for Snoopy's deadly cane toad obsession.
This yard doesn't naturally have cane toads. They're coming in from the outside world.
Yep.
So we've got to look along this fence here, because it looks pretty secure. We've got to look along the fence, see if there are any areas where they can get in under. And you can see here, let's see, yeah, we come to here, and see here, we've got gaps here.
Oh.
See, if I can get my fingers in there, the toads can get in there as well.
Okay.
So,
Oh.
plenty of toads.
Look.
So, true to form.
It doesn't take long for Chris's
One right
theory
there.
to be proven true.
And you see where he was?
Yeah.
Right underneath the fence there. So, I reckon this is probably one of the highways they're using to get in and out.
Okay.
I'm not sure if this cane toad was in the wrong place at the wrong time or the right place at the right time, because he's going to come in very handy in a second. So we need to block this up.
Okay.
This stuff's perfect because we'll still let little insects and bugs through, which should be here, but won't let cane toads. So if you feed this through here, stretch it along on the ground, and pop it through this part of the fence here. Okay, and then push our dirt up against it, and then some leaf litter. Okay.
Yep.
And then that little hole is patched. You're probably going to have about 2, 3, 4 of these along the fence line.
Yep.
Do each of those.
Yep.
You'll stop the toads from getting in.
Great. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, looks good.
Now, probably the biggest challenge of all.
Chris may have solved one problem, but now comes the biggest test. He needs to cure Snoopy's life-threatening cane toad obsession.
The problem we've got 2 Jack Russells who are driven by instinct. And with Snoopy's case, she can't help herself but chase them, lick them, bite them, and each time she does that, she gets the dose of that poison. We need to make the thrill of the chase for her a lot less thrillful.
Okay.
And this is how we're going to do it. We're going to use an air horn. Now, conveniently, we already have a toad. So if we put the toad on the ground, wait for Snoopy to appear, and if Snoopy comes up and has a look at the toad, she looks away, and now she's wary because she's heard that sound. If she goes after it again, can she resist? No. Okay. So we make that sound, get her attention, then we pick her up, we take her straight to the laundry and put her in there. So, you saw what happened there?
Yep.
She went to chase the cane toad.
Yep.
You sound that horn, she stops,
Yeah.
wonders why that horn sounded when she chased the cane toad. Keep on doing that, she makes the connection between that sound she doesn't like and chasing the toad. But as an added disincentive for her, she gets put in the laundry every single time she chases the toads.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
good. Between the horn and the laundry, I think Snoopy's cane toad licking days are over. Thank you.
All right, but good luck.
Thank you so much. I
my
really
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Good luck.
Thank you. Okay. Bye.
Now listen, you. I know you want to get away. Wait, whoa, and off you go. He's gone.
He's gone hiding.
After months of rehabilitation, Smudge is fully recovered and back to his mischievous self.
All the bandages are off, all the pins are out, and it's just no more hassles for him. You know, he can just go back and sleep and eat and sleep and eat and be happy.
Not long ago, devoted owner Jane feared the adventurous Runaway might lose his leg.
Wow, look at that. I don't want to hurt him, but it's completely unstable.
After complex surgery, A brace held Smudge's leg in place. Jane has now changed some of the house rules to make sure Smudge doesn't run away again.
He'll be locked up at night now. He won't be out roaming at night, so, you know, the mice have got free range now.
No more scaring your mummy. Yes.
Chris is back in Cairns for a second week. He's been invited to work at the busy Marlin Coast Vet Clinic with his mate Rod Gilbert.
Morning, mate. How are you?
Hey, how are you, Chris?
Yeah, pretty well. What's going on today?
Well, I've just had a call from Hartley's Creek. Ted, one of the older crocodiles up there, has had an injury.
Yeah.
He needs to be seen as soon as possible.
And you want him seen by me, don't you?
That'd be good.
Of course you do. You've saved this one up, haven't you?
Sort of.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Thank you, mate. As a vet, working up here just seems to have this intensity about it that really draws me in. It's hotter, it's harder, and the animals seem to find themselves in situations that are nothing like back home.
Halfway to his first patient, Chris spies an unexpected swimmer off the beach.
Sure, I saw a croc. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Wow. Look at that. Just cruising in the open ocean. I mean, this is an idyllic beach. You don't expect to see a croc here, but out, what, 1, 2, 3 waves out, lurking there is, I'd say, a 4 to 5 metre croc. I'd say he'd be a male because this time of year they're looking to breed, so the fact he's out in the open ocean is strange, but he's probably switching rivers. All right. I think we can safely say he's healthy. Time to go and see a sick one.
The sick croc Chris needs to see is at Hartley's, 40 minutes north of Cairns.
How you doing? You Shane?
That's me.
How are you? I'm Chris.
Nice to meet you, mate.
Sorry I'm a bit late, mate.
That's all right.
Already seen a croc today.
Oh, bonus.
Now, where's this one you want me to look at?
He's just down here, mate.
Okay. Yep.
Shane Neal is the senior reptile keeper. He looks after the 3,000 deadly crocs that call this place home.
So just a few of the 3,000?
There's just a couple in there. Our largest crocodile, Ted, he sustained some injury to his top jaw from one of the smaller males. He is a very old crocodile, so we're always very concerned about his health and well-being. And some of the injuries did look pretty serious to us.
So we go on the boat?
Yep, we're going on the boat now. See if we can find him.
Even the boats are kept behind fences here.
Ted lives with lots of other crocs in an area known as Hartley's Lagoon.
What are you worried about with Ted?
Because obviously it's coming to the breeding season now, he has been fighting with one of the other males, and he has sustained some injuries around his mouth. And he is a very old crocodile. I mean, we do think he might be around 100, maybe even older.
100?
Yeah. So we are concerned for his well-being.
Yeah, you bet. Shane tells me that despite Ted being 100 years old, he's still competing for the affections of the women in the lagoon. In doing that, he's got into a fight with the other males, and apparently he's been beaten up pretty bad. Where's Ted been spotted lately?
He's not in his usual spot, so he might be hiding away somewhere.
Finding the injured croc is going to be a massive task. The lagoon is huge. The water is murky and thick with reeds.
So who's this one here?
That's one of the females.
There's two here. Not him?
No, too small for him.
Even though Ted is 5.4 metres long, he's not easy to find out here. So are you at all concerned the fact that he's just nowhere to be seen at the moment?
We are a bit, just because of the fact he is an old crocodile, so we sort of really need to respond to any sort of injuries with him very quickly.
Yeah.
Chris is growing increasingly worried. The old croc could have life-threatening injuries, which would explain why he's nowhere to be found.
Can you nose it right in a bit, Nick?
So you're thinking he could be in here?
He could be, yeah. Can't see him.
An hour into the search and the situation is becoming desperate.
So If we can't find him, then I can't treat him.
But Shane's got a plan B, and with hundreds of crocs lurking everywhere, it's a high-risk strategy.
So we're going to the bank now?
We're going to the bank and we'll see if we can get him up.
Okay.
At the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH, 4-year-old golden retriever Fatty has been rushed in for emergency treatment.
All right, he's had a bag of fluids?
Bag of fluids,
okay.
yeah.
Fatty was running in the park with his owner when he suddenly collapsed.
His legs started to shake and then he just dropped. So I thought he must be tired, very tired. So I started to pour water on him. Then he started to crawl and I saw his back legs not moving. Then I know there's something wrong.
Heart rate's 140, got clear lung sounds, normal gut sounds. Oh God, massive diarrhea. His body temperature is sky high, he's panting, he can't walk, he's got diarrhea, he is a mess. Owners said that they were running him, it was a hot day, so it could be something like heat stroke. Yeah. Dogs are much more prone to heat stroke than people are. We sweat through our skin, whereas they sweat through their foot pads and nose and rely more on panting to keep themselves cool. Now, on a hot day when the humidity is high, that is just not enough.
Fatty's temperature is alarmingly high, almost 43 degrees.
A normal body temperature for a dog is roughly 37.5 up to 39, but to have a body temperature of nearly 43 degrees, now that's enough to cause damage in every organ in the body and cause the brain and blood clotting system to shut down. That's a boy. You're a good boy. Yeah, you are a good boy. He's all tucked up in bed.
Fatty's distressed owners, Nick and Stephanie, are anxious to see their sick boy.
I feel so bad for Nick and his family to see Fatty so unwell when this morning he was completely normal and all they were doing was taking him for a lovely run in the sun, and now he's in a state where I can't even guarantee that he's going to get better, and they must be absolutely terrified. So it's good he's aware you're here and he's looking around. His just body has had such a knock. So we just got to now try and get him better, okay? This is really hard for Nick and his family because they love Fatty so much, and now he's in a hospital in a critical state and they don't even know if they're going to see him at the end of the day. Cross your fingers, but you're giving him the best possible chance, okay? You're doing everything that I've recommended you're doing, and that's the best thing for him. Okay. All right, we'll keep you updated. I'll give you a call in a few hours and let you know how he's going, okay? All right.
Thank you.
The next few hours are critical.
Because heat stroke can cause multiple organ failure, I'm doing some blood tests to work out what's going on inside Fatty.
At almost 43 degrees, Fatty's body temperature was dangerously high.
It looks like Fatty's results are pretty good considering his body temperature was so high. These are actually not too bad at all. I'm actually quite surprised. I was expecting his clotting times to be off the scales and abnormalities in lots of his internal organs, but everything's actually looking pretty okay at the moment. This is a little bit promising. Even though it can change, I'm going to hold on to this as something good. You're nice and cozy there. We're going to get you feeling a lot better, sweetness. All right? You're a good boy. You're a good boy. Okay?
Now got reinforcements?
Yeah, we've got Jesse here as a backup, as our guard in case things go pear-shaped. This is where we're going in.
In far north Queensland, Chris and the team from Hartley's Crocodile Adventures are about to enter a lagoon filled with deadly crocodiles. They're looking for Ted, a monster 5.4 metre croc who's been badly injured in a mating battle with a rival male.
So you're actually going to call him?
Yep.
Here.
Call him up.
Do you use like a low frequency thing, or what do you, like, how do you actually attract him?
It's very technical, Chris. We just say, come on.
You do not.
Seriously.
Shane's hoping to trick Ted into thinking it's feeding time. Hopefully a call will lure him out of hiding.
Come on! Come on!
Just tap the bucket lightly. You can see the reeds moving.
Just through you now. Just a shadow under the water, but it's a big shadow. All of a sudden, the reeds start parting, they're shaking, you can almost feel the ground moving. He's on his way. It's like something out of a horror film.
Come on, Ted, come on.
Okay, so we're okay here right now?
At the moment, yeah.
Know when to run.
Yeah, if you see us running, don't ask questions, just follow.
Knowing that this croc needs to be looked at is what's keeping me anchored to the ground, but there's a lot of instincts inside you saying, get out of here. Jeez.
As soon as Ted gets to shore, Chris can immediately see the old warrior is in serious trouble. Ted can barely move.
Just looking here, there's quite a few puncture wounds just next to those nostrils there, but also underneath. Yeah, there's actually some puncture wounds underneath. So I'd say the jaws of that croc have actually gone in like that on the top, and really give him a good rip, top and bottom. You'd expect a croc that's 100 years old to have a few battle scars, but what Ted has over his snout there is quite something. Just when he breathes, do you hear that?
Yeah. Doesn't sound right, does it?
Just when he's exhaling, he's got a little, almost like a tyre's leaking. You can hear air squirting out.
The wounds look bad.
Just want to squirt this and clean that mud out of the top wounds there.
Yeah.
But Chris won't know the full extent of the damage until the area is clean.
Unbelievable. I managed to get the swab in there and really clean out some of that dead tissue. But pretty quickly, Ted tells me he doesn't like it one bit. He's turned around and gone into the water. But by going to the water, he's actually given us another important clue about just how serious his injuries are. He's got those bubbles coming out there. So that puncture that he's had is quite deep.
Okay.
And going into some quite sensitive tissue, which explains why he's really pulled away when I've started to dig in there and try to clean it out. He's going to need some antibiotics.
Okay.
Because that sort of area, it's not a superficial wound now.
Yeah.
That's actually quite deep and quite dangerous.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Seeing that air rushing out of Ted's mouth really rams home the fact he was bitten hard, because to puncture that bone, to cause that leakage, takes a big hit. We have to act and act now.
His temperature is 42.6. So.
Oh, this is pretty strong right now.
Yeah, he looks like he's having some partial seizures, but you're okay. All right. He's having a little seizure there.
At SASH, heatstroke patient Fatty has suddenly taken a turn for the worse.
Okay. All right, bud. Heat stroke affects every part of the body, so when the body temperature goes above, say, 42 degrees, it can cause brain damage, and I think that's what we're dealing with right now. So we're going to give him some anticonvulsants to try and get these seizures under control, but this is really not a good sign. And can we get an ETCO2 monitor on him as well, please? Yep. He's really not breathing on his own. We finally got Fatty's seizure under control, and the next minute I notice his breathing becomes shallow, and he stops breathing, and then his heart stops. Okay, I've got no heartbeat. Can we get some adrenaline, please? And before we know it, we're performing CPR on him.
I've got a heart rate. You feel it? Yeah.
Yep, there's a heartbeat.
Lisa and the team have brought Fatty back to life, but he's only just hanging on.
I'm feeling sick about this. This is a real turn for the worse. It's not something that I expected to happen so quickly. But to me, it shows that Fatty's systems are shutting down, and I don't know if he's going to pull through this.
Nicholas, hi, it's Lisa, the vet speaking.
Fatty's owners are anxious to hear of any developments, so Lisa is now phoning them to discuss treatment.
So you're happy for him to be put onto the ventilator? Okay, all right, so we'll put him on a ventilator and we'll keep giving him the medication and we'll give you an update in an hour or so. So he said as long as there's a chance, he'll give him a chance. It's pretty amazing. Fatty survived a cardiac arrest. Now, not many animals get through that. And now he's on a ventilator and he's in a coma. And yes, his chances of survival are low, but it just gives me a little bit of hope that he's going to pull through this as well. Good boy. Don't you give up. No. Mum and Dad and your family are really, really waiting for you to go home. Okay? Buddy?
He's got those bubbles coming out there. So that puncture that he's had is quite deep.
Okay.
And going into some quite sensitive tissue, which explains why he's really pulled away when I've started to dig in there and try to clean it out. He is going to need some antibiotics.
Okay.
At Hartley's Crocodile Adventures just outside Cairns, Chris is treating Ted, the second largest croc in captivity.
I'm going to grab some things out of my box.
This 5.4 metre monster was involved in a territorial fight with another male and now has horrific injuries to his snout that need urgent treatment.
I don't generally carry around crocodile tablets. Okay.
Why not?
Well, exactly. So the only ones I've got are for dogs, but this is the perfect antibiotic for him. So instead of getting one or two, he's going to get a few more. How much does he weigh?
Probably about 900 kilos.
He's going to get 18 tablets.
Okay.
10, 11, 12. Getting antibiotics into a 900 kilo croc, you can't exactly put a tablet down his throat. Or can you? All right, so we've got a nice piece we can hide these in. All right.
Come on, big fella.
Would he normally be a bit more active than this?
Yeah, he'd just stay up here and we called him, he'd just straight up.
Yeah. So he's obviously really feeling it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely, he's definitely not well. Come on, Ted, come on up here.
It's crucial that Ted gets all the antibiotics.
Come on, Ted, come on up here, come on.
But the commotion is attracting an unwelcome onlooker.
Got a bit of a problem here because we've got this little female here now. She, at her age, is very nimble, she's very fast. And she's a big attack risk.
Chris needs to make sure Ted gets to the food before the intruder.
Come on. Come on. Come on, big fella. Come on up here. Come on.
Come on, Teddy. Right. You got it? Let's see it swallowed. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Well done. Now that Ted's had a good dose of those antibiotics, they'll be working into his system over the next 24 hours. The great thing is, it'll start to heal him from the inside out. Looks like he's decided this appointment is over. I've got to say that when I was told that I had to treat a 5.4 metre crocodile with injuries around his mouth, I couldn't have hoped that it would go this well. Which probably means I should leave now while my dignity and respect is intact. All right, mate. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
See you, Teddy.
Nicholas, hi. Come through.
At SASH, heatstroke patient Fatty is now breathing with the help of a ventilator, and his worried family has come back in to see him.
Look, I think we have to take it an hour at a time.
Yeah, so I guess he's just waiting and see.
Yeah. It wasn't even that hot today, was it? I feel so bad for Fatty's family. They were just trying to be good owners by exercising their dog, and Fatty was playing along and didn't realise that he was getting so hot at the time, and
everything went downhill from there. And they don't even know that they're tired, they don't even know they're hot, they just want to chase and play and feel hot, but they don't complain about it, and then it's often too late. So don't feel bad, we see it all the time. But he's getting everything, you're giving him every possible chance. Slim chance. Fatty is so lucky that he's got a family that is so committed to him. They absolutely adore him, and they have decided that they want us to do everything that we can. They are holding on to every possible chance that there is, and I hope that he pulls through for them. Take care. It's going to be a long night. We've got Fatty on a ventilator. We're treating him with medication for his blood pressure. We're doing everything we possibly can, and the rest is just up to him. I just hope like hell that he pulls through this. Don't you give up, buddy.
At SASH, it's been an incredibly tough night for Lisa and the emergency team.
Fatty's blood tests just got worse and worse. His organs continued to shut down.
In the early hours of the morning, 4-year-old Golden Retriever Fatty sadly lost his brave battle for life.
You know, this is just a heart-wrenching reminder to me and everyone around that heat stroke in dogs can be deadly. It is the hardest part of my job when this kind of thing happens. And we've done everything in our power to get Fatty through this, and his owners have given us every opportunity to try and help him, and unfortunately, this is just a situation where medicine is not enough.
Chris.
Hey, mate.
David's down the car park. He's one of our regular customers. If you could go and give him a hand with the next patient, please.
In the car park?
That's right.
Okay.
Chris is at the Marlin Coast Vet Clinic in Cairns, about to see his next patient.
When Rod tells me that I have to go and help someone out in the car park, I'm a little bit suspicious. But at the same time, it's not out of the ordinary. Sometimes the pet is just too big or the person's too old to get themselves in. You David?
Yeah, g'day Chris, how are you?
I'm good, good to see you, mate.
Mate, I just got something here that I thought you need to just have a quick look at for me.
That always makes me nervous.
Just a little fella.
Oh, Jesus.
We'll get him on upstairs, eh?
Yeah, I think we should. Oh, wow. I think we should probably go to a room where we can close doors.
David has brought in a local stray for the doc to check out.
Yep. It's a scrub python, isn't it?
He is amethystine python, or commonly known as a scrub python.
So, how have you got this monster?
This fella, well, I was called out for this fella where he decided he was going to have somebody's pet geese for breakfast. Lucky we sort of got there just in time.
Yeah.
The owner of the house in fright sort of give him a bit of a touch up with the broom, you know, to get him off the pets.
Yeah.
So I thought we should probably bring him in, you know, let you have a bit of a look over him, make sure he's in good nick before we let him go.
Because obviously being this size, they can't exactly hide too easily.
No, he's good size and easily sprung.
Yeah. Wow. He is massive.
Chris has colourful memories of his first encounter with a Cairns scrub python.
A couple of years ago, I spent a few days, quite frustrating and quite freaky days, trying to find a snake in a roof up here. But this wasn't any old snake. This was Big Mama.
Yep.
You got him?
I've got the head, yep. Okay, I've got him. Got him, mate. Yep.
Oh, he's hanging on. He's hanging on. Listen.
Big snake.
Oh, jeez. Oh, wow. The legend of Big Mama has grown to such an extent, she's almost taken on mythical proportions. She was 7 metres long. This one, not quite as big, so I'm going to call her Medium Mama.
They often are sort of reasonably calm species snakes, but certainly if annoyed, They can turn around and give you a bit of a chewing.
Make a necklace out of you, right?
Yeah, and I can tell you, it's not good.
It's not great. Trust me right now, it's not great.
G'day.
Australian Reptile Park Operations Manager Tim Faulkner is making an unusual house call.
I'm Tim.
Hi Tim, I'm Natalie.
Nice to meet
This
you.
is Amber.
Hello, how are you?
Shy.
Yeah, mine are too. What do you think's in there?
Well, they kind of make a squeaking noise.
Rats,
So
bats, mice, birds.
maybe baby birdies,
Yeah?
perhaps?
Now let's go and have a look.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Come on, you gonna come?
Come with Mummy.
Come on.
Good girl.
Natalie has been hearing strange sounds coming from inside her bedroom wall. The mysterious squatters are making such a racket, the young family have turned to Tim for help.
It's a good spot because you've got the forest next door, so plenty of wildlife.
Yeah.
Where?
Where are they? Where are they? They up here? Up here.
Right, so they're in here. Whatever's in the walls, it's making them move out of some of the rooms. They can't go in there, it's noisy. I need to find it. So, and you hear them from inside?
Yep.
Okay.
And it just sounds like mummy birds brought back some food for the babies and they all start squeaking.
If they were birds and it was mum and dad, you should see them coming and going pretty regularly, and you haven't seen anything?
I haven't seen anything, no, but if you could rehome them somewhere that's safe for them in a nice environment.
Yep.
That we've got a cat. I don't want them to get eaten or anything like that, so.
Sure. Natalie said that whatever's in the walls is most active at night or makes the most noise at night. Now that's got me thinking, maybe it's nocturnal. Whatever it is, I've got to get it out. Do you want to help me? Do you want to have a go? Do you want to have a go? I think that was a no. These poor people, I come around to have a look at their animals, and I mentioned to them I'm not a builder, which is just as well because this house is coming down. There's your drain.
Oh, lovely. Might be a good time to clean it. Maybe some bushfires there.
Oh, the gutters aren't bad, so someone's been good.
That's my lovely dad.
All right, I might start at this one, hey?
Sure. Just make sure no little mice or anything.
Oh, I can see something there now.
Tim has located the intruders, and Natalie is in for a big shock.
Look up under there.
Oh!
Now, he's behind this one, which is okay. So what we might actually do is now work at getting this top one off. I look up under one of the boards into the wall cavity, and there's a bat.
He's about the size of a little mouse. But as long as he doesn't, he's going to drop on me.
A little microbat. It's this big, and it's tucked right up the top. Geez, you're rougher than me. And for a little animal, they've got big teeth. Holy moly.
Is there more?
Oh, is there more? Have a look at this. There we go, so... Yeah, can you see now? Look at that.
Oh, I can hear them. Oh, yeah, there's one. Oh,
see?
there's a whole...
Yep, a whole little colony of them.
Tim must now remove the bats.
Starting to oh, they're starting to wake up.
If they are not relocated, they pose a danger to Natalie and her family.
The problem with microbats or any bats is that you shouldn't touch them and you don't want them living in your wall. They can carry a virus called lyssavirus. Now, it's fatal. It's a form of rabies. And when little Amber's sticking her fingers in places she shouldn't be, that's a worry. We've got to be quick because these little guys are starting to wake up. They're in there because it's dark. I've just given it daylight and they're beginning to get active. So I've got to be careful and just get one at a time. Okay. I've got one.
Oh, cool.
Are they sitting? Yep. Look at that. That's it.
So cute.
Full grown. Look at that little face, full of teeth. I'm going to put them in the bag and go again. So there's one. They will climb up. That's it. Thank you. Okay, there's 1, 2. Look at that. Another 2. Oh, mate, they're so fragile. Okay, so that's 3. Come on, little guy. I don't want to hurt you. Okay, oh, he's a cranky one. Another 2.
He's awake.
Look at that. That's a pretty cute little face. Hey, it's all right, mate. 5. What's that, number 6? Oh,
So far, Tim has managed to remove 6 bats.
Oh, he's up high, that little guy.
But there is still one left, and this last intruder isn't leaving without a fight.
Come on, little guy. Okay, a little bit more.
Oh yeah. There's some big teeth in there.
In Cairns, Chris is trying to find out if Medium Mama has any injuries.
There are no wounds in his mouth. Obviously he was the one dishing out the wounds rather than receiving them.
The local who discovered the massive python beat it off with a broom before snake catcher David came to the rescue.
He got a bit of a touch-up from the broom.
Okay. While she might be big and strong, the fact is she has hundreds of ribs that are actually quite fine. So if she has been hit by a broom, it's possible she's actually fractured some of those. So my first job is really to feel her whole way down to check if I can feel any abnormalities. I mean, just feeling down the full length here, I'm just feeling for any irregularities, any swellings, any little bumps or bruises that might indicate where that broom made a bit of a dent, but I imagine we're dealing with a pretty tough snake here. I'm looking for a couple of things, either indentations in her body where she could have taken a blow, or swellings where her body's responded to some sort of injury. Clearly all the padding that this snake has been enough because I can't see any damage to those ribs. And he's in very good condition. Now, it's important to check the other parts of her body, starting with the heart. The heart though, it's hard to find. The heart should be about a third of the way down, so. How's that arm?
That's all right.
A good blow by a broom to a lung could cause some serious injuries. I can see a lung's inflating and I can hear them, and thankfully, they sound okay. I've learnt enough about scrub pythons to know that it's rare to see any of them over 5 metres long, apart from Big Mama, of course. So this girl isn't leaving this clinic until she's measured. Okay. To measure the length of a snake, you have to put them on the ground and stretch them out. That's easier said than done when the room is smaller than the patient. And we've got a tape measure. How you going there?
Yeah, I'm right. It's pure muscle.
Yeah. Look at that mark there. All right, so if we just go from that point. So, 5.43 metres. Wow.
Yeah, it's good size.
The fact is, a snake this size can't stay in a vet clinic like this, or really a city like this, for too long. She has to be returned to the wild. All right.
Alrighty.
Let's go.
Look at that. That's a pretty cute little face.
An hour and a half north of Sydney, Tim has been called to Natalie's house to deal with some uninvited guests.
What's that, number 6? Oh.
So far, he has captured 6 bats.
Oh, he's up high, that little guy.
But one is refusing to budge.
Come on, little guy, I don't want to hurt you. Okay, a little bit more. Gotcha. Got him.
Look at that. And look for their size, look at the attitude they've got. Isn't that beautiful?
Like tissue paper.
Yep. Stay here, matey. Not afraid to bite. Listen. Hear that? There's that beautiful wind.
With all the bats now removed,
Oh yeah, I can feel him climbing.
Tim suddenly discovers how the tiny trespassers entered Natalie's home.
So this is a little bat highway. I can see right where they're coming in, straight through the side. And then you can see where they climb up, tiny little claw marks. And beneath that is a heap of droppings. If we block these holes, at least that means this particular access point's stopped.
They're just sneaking through a couple of cracks. And now, it's important that I fix them. If I don't, more bats will come and use that site. That's not good for the bats, and it's not safe for the family.
Are you supervising?
So this will work temporarily, and you guys might just need a tube of that gap filler.
Sure.
Thank
you.
No worries. Can you open that beanie for me? I'm going to put them in that gently so that they... Beauty.
I'm going to take the bats back to the reptile park. I've blocked off their home. If I leave them there, they won't survive. I need to bring them back and give them the care they need.
Jeez, it's pretty heavy, isn't it? It's heavy, yeah. You're a good helper. They can ride in the front with me.
Bye-bye, Bat. Good girl.
Bye.
Bye, Tim. Bye, Bat. They're gone. Gone.
Got the spot in mind, mate?
Yep, certainly.
Chris and Cairn snake catcher David are heading bush to release the huge python found in a local backyard.
Okay, so you're happy with this spot here?
Yep, you should be happy.
So the thinking is that she should go up there, right?
That's the plan.
The idea here is to get her far enough out of town that she's not going to go into any backyards, but not too far away. So it's still her natural habitat. Here, hopefully we let her out of the bag. She goes off into the wild. Okay, we've got her here. All right, girl. Welcome to your new home. One without fences, pets and geese. All right, well, she's lively now. I think she knows. Now, the thing about you finding a new home is that I can't come with you. Okay, so there's no point latching onto me now. All right, I think it's time. She's been licking the air there. You go, girl. You go and do your thing. See, that is what I find amazing, when she actually stretches out like this. You get a good idea of just how big she is. What you learn very quickly around here is that everything seems to grow big. If it's not crocodiles, it's cane toads. If it's not cane toads, it's scrub pythons. Trust me, if you've got a 5.5 metre one, she's better off out here. She's going up.
Big old lazy chugger.
You reckon you'll see her again?
Well, for her sake, I hope not, because if I run across her again, it'll be in somebody's backyard, and that's sort of fraught with danger.
Let's make a goodbye and not see you soon, huh?
No worries.
Hello, little guys. They're so small.
Tim has arrived at the Australian Reptile Park with the 7 tiny bats that had taken up residence in the wall of a nearby family home.
I can see here that they're not bent-wing bats. So my thinking now is that we're at a chocolate wattled bat.
With the intruders now identified, it's time to give the family of bats a home of their own.
Can you go? Bats like to feel safe. They're little, they're vulnerable, they're a little snack pack for an owl or a kookaburra. So when they hide, they want to be compressed, they want to be tight. So the things that I've provided there allow them to either get right up inside a beanie, to get in a dark box and tuck away. He is so cranky. Look at that, for a little guy, they sure pack a punch. Hey, I wouldn't like to be an insect.
With the 7 chocolate wattled bats now safe in their new home,
there you go, buddy. I want you to go up in there with you, mate.
Tim has a special housewarming present for the new arrivals.
What bat doesn't love a juicy mealworm?
Microbats are insectivorous. That means they eat little insects. Now, I've got a bowl of mealworms and they'll feast on that overnight. Now, I'm going to keep them here for a little while and eventually they'll go back to the wild.
Yeah, right. I have to break this gently to you, mate, but it is home time for me. I've got to go.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you coming.
Mate, you threw all shapes and sizes at me.
We try to please.
Yeah, clearly, you really do.
Well, next time, bring your surfboard.
Look, I've seen what's out there and someone's already claimed those waves, so it's not going to happen. But, mate, thank you, all right?
Thanks,
See you
Chris.
later.
I'm from Mars, and I bought that carol I told you about that had been shot with an arrow or a skew or something.
At the Bondi Clinic, Mari Claude from rescue organisation Wires has brought in a distressed currawong.
So what's happened?
Some idiot shot him with a skewer.
Wow. When I first look at this currawong, I really can't believe what I'm seeing. I mean, there is a wooden skewer there, but it's sticking right into this bird. He's going to be pretty stressed out because he's obviously a wild bird. So he's had that sticking out for 2 months like that?
It was this big before. I don't know where the rest of it is gone. And I didn't know if it was stuck in his flesh. I didn't know anything. I could only see him from far away. This is the first time I'm so close to him.
It took Mari Claude 8 weeks to lure the injured bird into her cage.
So you had to train him to trust you enough to be fed out of this cage, and then eventually you got to the stage after 2 months that you could close the door? Yeah. To commit 2 months to helping this bird, it's pretty extraordinary. I mean, it shows a huge amount of patience, but so much compassion for a creature she barely knows.
So I hope you're not going to tell me, sorry, we have to put him down.
Well, I hope I don't have to say that as well, because after everything that the two of you have been through, it's the last thing you need.
That's why he's sitting quietly.
At the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH, little Hope has a broken heart. Her best friend, 2-year-old Frederick, is in an extremely bad way.
I got up this morning to see Frederick, and normally he's running and jumping and trying to get into the house, and he was a bit quiet this morning. I went out to him and he just didn't want to move, and we tried and he just couldn't walk.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Frederick.
This is Frederick.
Hi, I'm Lisa. Come through, bring him through. Frederick's family are here and they are so distressed about their little dog. He was completely normal last night and this morning he's now paralysed. He's gone downhill pretty quickly. All right. And definitely like no trauma incidents.
No,
she wasn't playing with him, nothing like that, okay? I'm looking at Frederick try and move around the room and he's really not putting any weight on those back legs. He can't use them properly. He is a dachshund and at the top of my list is something like a slip disc, but I can't rule out a trauma, a fracture, some other problem going on in his spinal cord. I need to have a good look at him first. All right, honey, let's see what you can do. See, what he should be able to do is flick those feet back. So I've put them in an abnormal position here. And the feet should be able to flick back into their normal spot.
I love you, Freddy boy.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
So when I do it with the front legs, he gets up on the table.
Yeah.
When I do it with the back legs, it's almost like they're not there. So he can feel them, that's a good thing, but he can't move them. So the situation we have with him at the moment is that he's showing me signs of spinal disease, okay? Dachshunds can have an abnormal development of their discs and those discs can pop out. But if he does have a slip disc, then surgery would be his best chance of being able to walk again. The fact that Frederick's neurological function has deteriorated so rapidly over the space of, say, 2 hours, it means that it could get worse and quickly. And if we don't act now and get to a diagnosis and treatment, he may never walk again.
Okay, let's just be very delicate here because I don't know where that... I don't really know where that spear or skewer is, so... I don't want to cause any more injuries.
Mari Claude from Rescue Group Wires has brought an injured currawong into the Bondi Clinic.
Okay, so could you just hold his beak there just so he doesn't get any more...
It's a strong beak you have
Yeah,
there?
he's got my finger in it.
Ah, God, yes. And now he's got my...
We can see it goes through the top here, but is that body or is that wing? Let's just roll him gently.
Oh, baby.
Okay, so it's going through his wing.
Straight through.
So I don't really want to remove this skewer here with him conscious because the stress of doing that is going to be too much for him, but also if a blood vessel is actually attached to that and that ruptures, with him awake, he could bleed to death. The only option we're left with really is to perform surgery with an anaesthetic. But it's an anaesthetic with risks, and those risks are only increased by the fact this currawong isn't well.
It's just for him to stay in hospital, please.
At Sash, 5-year-old Hope is frightened for her best friend Freddie. The 2-year-old Dachshund has completely lost movement in his hind legs, and Lisa urgently needs to do a CT scan.
I don't want you to go.
Sweetheart, you're going to be a bit of a wreck, isn't it?
Sweetheart. Hey, what are you worried about?
I don't want him to stay here.
Sweetie, do you want to make him a drawing and we can hang it in the cage for him, a special note from you? Would you like to do that? I'm looking at little Hope and she loves Frederick. He is her best friend and her world has just come falling down now that her buddy can't use his legs. She's so worried that he will never walk again.
I'll go and visit him tomorrow.
Yeah, he's gonna love that and you can bring him his favourite food.
That's Mum and Dad.
Look, we see lots of tears here at Sash, but when I see a little girl like Hope at the age of 5 sobbing for her best friend, I feel a huge responsibility to get him back to her.
He's going to come back. He'll be back.
He's looking lively enough that I think he'll be able to handle an anaesthetic.
Chris is starting the delicate surgery to remove a skewer from the wing of a wild currawong.
I just need to work out exactly what we're looking at here. Looking at this now, it's pretty clear. I mean, you can see the skewer is at the heart of the problem, but in turn it's actually created a second issue, which is each time he moves, he actually spikes himself, and that's where this abscess here has come from as well. So today we'll have to take care of both problems. When you consider that Arrow has been pierced with a skewer, he's been barely able to fly and must have been in so much pain, it's really a miracle he's even got this far. You can see now, the problem we're facing is that this skewer's been in for so long, it's actually become essentially a part of Arrow. I mean, Arrow's attached tissue to it and tried to live with it when really it's doing him no good and he needs to let go of it, but now his body just isn't wanting to.
Very well attached.
It's not coming through. The fact this is an old injury makes it even more of a challenge because not only are you fighting against the body's best efforts to fix the problem itself, but you also could be looking at a long-standing infection. Both those together make this quite a difficult procedure. So I'm having to be quite forceful and get in and around the base of it and take away all the attachments that the body just naturally forms to anything that's foreign.
Should be enough. One final push. There we go. There it is. So you can just see how much there was hooked in there.
Arrow's ordeal isn't over yet. Chris now needs to remove the abscess that has formed around the skewer.
Just try to neatly cut around the base of it. That's actually not an abscess. I think you may actually have another bit of skewer.
Really?
You've got to feel for Arrow. I mean, not only has he had to deal with that piece of wood stuck into his body, but it turns out he's got another piece right next to it. He's had to be a fighter.
Hang in there, buddy.
Okay. Okay, I'm ready to close up. Get some stitches there. I'm pretty happy.
Looking good.
That's our last stitch there. Alright, so I'm hoping after being incredibly unlucky, Arrow has just had his luck change.
At the Australian Reptile Park, Operations Manager Tim Faulkner has been alerted to some unusual activity in the alligator enclosure.
Alligators build nests, and this mum here is actually building the nest back up. My guess is that she's laid her eggs right in the middle of that last night, and she is now, after laying the eggs, fixing the nest back up, getting it in the right shape. She will protect that with her life.
The problem is, Tim now has to confront that alligator and raid her nest. He needs to rescue her eggs before a predicted heatwave hits the park and destroys the unborn gators.
Today is forecast to be a 40-degree day. If we don't get the eggs out early morning, they'll overheat and die. All right, beauty. Everyone in?
With 40 alligators on the loose in the enclosure, the team will have to be on high alert.
Gators are strong, and she's a big gator. Ooh. We got to move fast. It's cramped, it's quite tight. That's why she's put the nest there. She can defend it, makes our life hard. I got to get a rope around those jaws and keep them shut.
The angry mum doesn't want anyone near her nest. But if Tim doesn't intervene, then her babies won't survive.
Okay, Mike, grab with Obes, lift her up a bit, we want her away from the water. Kyle, jump on too, mate. Okay, ready, boys? 1, 2, 3. Feet up. Make it quicker. Ready? No worries. Go. Okay, let's get into that nest.
With the entire team securing Mum, Tim can start retrieving her eggs. But suddenly, they've got company.
You right, boys? I'm right.
Down we go. Good boy.
At SASH, 2-year-old Frederick's CT scan is underway. The much-loved dachshund has suddenly become paralysed in his back legs. Lisa is hoping the scan will provide answers to his sudden loss of mobility.
We've got to move pretty fast with Freddie because every minute we waste is more of a chance that he may never walk again. So he needs to have a CT urgently. We need to diagnose the problem. There's our problem. We know what's wrong with Freddie. He's got a ruptured disc that is compressing his spinal cord and causing the paralysis.
Lisa calls in help from specialist surgeon Dr. Andrew Marchevsky.
Yeah, well, he's certainly popped a disc. You can see this is the spinal cord here, and all this here, this white stuff, is disc that's come from up here and up into the spinal canal. It's just compressing the cord. All right, well, I think surgery is certainly the way to go. His cord's really quite badly compressed or squished. We should do it now, because if we wait, his spinal cord's only going to get worse and decreases his chances of recovering.
Okay.
So
Well, let's do it.
Right, mate?
At the Australian Reptile Park, all hands are on deck to restrain an angry alligator while Tim rescues her recently laid eggs.
She's a big female, very strong, and that's what she's trying to defend. Unfortunately, if we leave him in here, he's not going to make it past today.
And the team is not alone. With temperatures rising, there are 40 more alligators feeling agitated.
This operation is intense. We've got a defensive female, we've got reptiles on a 40-degree day. That means they are hot-blooded. Their batteries are charged and they're going to be charging. Okay, well, that's the last egg. Let's get off her, hey, and let her go. I think it was hard catching, Mum. Imagine letting her go.
She's got them back legs kicked in.
Let go, Mick. Right, Kyle gone.
Get ready.
Mickey, 1, 2, 3, go. Righto, boys, come on down.
Tim is concerned other gators have also laid eggs early, so every nest has to be checked. Any eggs won't survive this heat.
Here she is.
But the gator nests are closely guarded.
We've got a defensive, aggressive mum, and we've got 40 alligators that have a very easy opportunity with this one to come straight out of the water right where we're working. For everyone that's not a mum, they just think it's feed time. Back up a little, Dino. Watch the gators behind you, mate. Okay, we right? Obes, you on the water?
Yep.
Ralphie, on that rope, please. Keep pulling that rope forward tight. Might stay on her. Just make sure, she'll do a good run, mate. Keep a bit of pressure on that, Jimbo. Obes, you got her? All right, I'm going to grab some eggs, boys. I've got 2 guys on the gator. I'm just about to go and check the eggs, and then it happens. Hit him, Jimbo, and back up, back up, back up, back up. Dino. There's gators everywhere. Back up, back up, back up. Kyle and Mick, over down the water. Back up through.
Chris is making a house call with a special delivery.
Hello. So,
Hello.
what happened?
We have good news.
Good.
Everything's gone really well. When Marie Claude first brought Arrow into the clinic, she was convinced that I'd say that he had to be put down. So now to be able to bring him back to where it all began, minus the skewer, it's a good feeling. So, you need to see the new Arrow.
Hey, look at him.
All right, so
Hey, baby.
and he's looking lively.
Arrow will stay in Marie Claude's care for another 6 weeks. Chris will then assess if he's well enough to be set free.
Probably the best plan is to give him some food for a few days,
Yes.
get his strength back, and then once he's healed up a little bit more, then he can be released. Does that sound okay?
Yes, we're going to take good care of him.
At SASH, Freddie's surgery is about to begin. Andrew needs to repair the young dachshund's slipped disc to give him any chance of walking again.
Apart from taking the pressure off his spinal cord, we're going to get in and remove some of the degenerate discs that he's already got from other spots in his spine to hopefully reduce the risk of this happening again to him. Look, spinal surgery is always risky because you're opening up the canal, you're right there at the spinal cord, and it's really delicate. And unless you're really careful, we could actually make him worse, which sounds terrible, but we could. So he's on a knife edge at the moment. Just trying to find that disc material, and there it is. Dirty little stuff. That's just probably, I don't know, a quarter of the amount of stuff that's been sitting around his spinal cord, causing all that pressure to build up.
It's been a tense 2 hours. The delicate surgery is finished, but the outcome is still uncertain.
Really, as careful as I was and always am in spinal surgery, there's always that risk that the spinal cord doesn't like what we're doing to it. So the real risk here is he may get worse. He might lose sensation in his feet. If he does, that's really bad because then it's a real uphill struggle for him.
Olivia.
Isn't she cute? Are you here to see Chris?
We are.
7-year-old Olivia and her pet cavoodle Daisy are making a return visit to the Bondi Clinic.
Her teeth are still in and she wants to get them out.
Today, Olivia's sister Annabelle and mum Fiona have come along to find out what's going to happen with Daisy's obstinate baby teeth.
We were here a few months ago and Chris looked at the teeth then and advised that we give it a little bit more time because she was still a puppy. It's been coming up to 10 weeks now and they really haven't even become loose. Good girl.
She loves to play.
She does love to play.
Olivia and her mum both have a rare condition called osteogenesis imperfecta, or brittle bones. Daisy is courageous little Olivia's best friend.
Olivia spent a lot of time in hospital this year with a really big operation on her leg where they had to do corrective surgery. So Daisy's played an integral role in helping Olivia, get back to being a kid and having fun.
Hello there.
How are you, Chris?
You guys again, huh?
We're back.
How are you? When I walk out into the waiting room and see the gang with Daisy, it can only mean one thing. They've got some breaking tooth fairy news. She lost the teeth?
I lost my tooth.
You lost your tooth? You did too, I can see that.
But Daisy hasn't lost her teeth.
Ah, wow.
I've asked the tooth fairy not to take my tooth yet because I don't want her to take my tooth until Daisy gets her teeth pulled out. Can you take her teeth and my tooth together? Will you give something to Daisy?
Okay, so what we're looking for is a package deal. If there wasn't already enough pressure on me with Olivia, Fiona and Annabelle on my case, I've now got the tooth fairy waiting for these teeth. And you don't want to upset the TF. Okay. There it is, still there. Jeez, it's solid, isn't it?
It doesn't move. I've tried to do what I did to Olivia's tooth and give it a wiggle, but it just doesn't. The poor dog's like gnawing, and they're just not coming out.
Yeah. And see, we're getting a little bit of redness between the two teeth there. So between her proper adult tooth at the front and the baby one behind.
Yep.
My hope was that those teeth would naturally start to loosen up, because usually what happens is that the body dissolves those roots, and so the teeth actually become loose and then eventually fall out. Right. For some reason in her body, that message isn't being sent. The real issue with these teeth hanging around in Daisy's mouth is that the teeth become too crowded, and then you can actually get food or bacteria trapped between the teeth, and from there an infection can result. So it looks like I've got a bit of a job to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah? You think I'm up to it? Yeah? I'm sure for Olivia, a little girl who spent so much of her young life in hospital, it must be a very surreal experience to see, I guess, the love of her life now in hospital as well. So there'd be some nerves there. I'm sure she's starting to wonder what's going to happen to her little girl. So as a vet, yeah, you feel that. I'll be as quick as I can, but she's going to have a little sleep, and she's going to wake up with the best smile ever. Yeah? Almost as good as yours. Okay, I'll take good care of her for you.
Hit him, Jimbo, and back up, back up, back up, back up. Dino, back up, back up, back up. Kyle and Mick, Obes on the water.
At the Australian Reptile Park, dozens of angry alligators are closing in on Tim and his team.
Just make sure you got an exit, Mike. Keep going. Okay, watch big boy there, hey?
Just watch, she won't turn again. She'll turn again.
A heat wave has hit, and one massive female is being restrained while Tim works quickly to rescue her eggs from a rapidly overheating nest.
Geez, that's warm. And the whole reason for building a nest is because they need a constant temperature of between 31 and 32 degrees for the eggs to hatch. Any colder or hotter, they die. Problem here is that our sun's just too hot and they overheat. That's warm. Okay, I'm gonna get them out now, nice and quick. Geez, I don't like them there.
They're quick, them little ones, oh, they catch you off guard.
Whoop, stop her, Obes, she's a little one, I don't like the little ones. They think it's feed time and they're coming up. Problem is, we're left with two blokes on one gator, defenceless. If gators get through us, they're gonna grab them. That's the last egg. Righto, that's it, guys. Hey, finished now. We gotta keep moving. We do not want to keep that female down, and we've got hungry gators everywhere. Lehman, step back, 1, 2, 3, go. Righto, mate, I'm getting out of here. Good release. That was dangerous, exciting, and the eggs are safe. Baby gators.
Breath holding.
At the Bondi Clinic, tiny Daisy is under anaesthetic for her teeth extraction. But her breathing is erratic, and that's got Chris worried.
What we often find with a lot of dogs when they first go under anaesthetic, they actually hold their breath. It's never a nice thing to see, because essentially all the anaesthetic monitors say your patient isn't breathing. No matter how much we might say it's not the case, the reality is that whenever you put an animal under anaesthetic, there's a risk attached to it. And my experience says the ones where you really hope everything goes well are the ones you have to watch over even more closely. The vitals are good. The encouraging thing is heart rate is spot on, pulses are great. You usually just have to wait it out and they do start to breathe again normally.
Here we go. Ah.
Finally, Daisy's breathing is steady, and Chris can start removing the 2 troublesome teeth.
The plan here should be pretty simple. It is a matter of just trying to get an instrument between her baby teeth and her adult teeth, loosen up the tooth that needs to be removed, and hopefully pull it out.
Daisy's baby teeth should have fallen out on their own.
The first thing I notice when I start working on the tooth is just how firmly attached it is. Normally these things, you can almost flick them out, but not this one.
See, we're starting to get a bit of a wiggle there. If we can try to get around the base of it, you kind of just start to weaken its attachments, and then you find you have a tooth. That little guy was causing all the problems. You can see the body's trying to dissolve this root here, but hasn't really done much of a job there. That's been the reason it's been hanging on.
This operation should realistically only take a matter of seconds, but we're now into the minutes. The second tooth is taking even more muscle to get out. And we're talking about tiny teeth.
She's quite firmly attached. You normally don't get this sort of attachment here. She really wanted to hang on to her youth. Okay, see, that one's got a much bigger root. That's quite abnormal to see that.
When this second tooth comes out, it's obvious why it's been putting up quite a fight. Its root is as long as the tooth itself. What I'm amazed about looking at these teeth is that there's no evidence that these roots have been dissolving like they normally should. So the simple fact is, if Fiona hadn't come back with Daisy, those teeth would be in there, possibly for life.
All right, Daisy. It went well. It went very well. You just need to sleep it off, okay?
Well, it's time to set the eggs up.
At the Australian Reptile Park, Tim's collected freshly laid gator eggs to save them from today's heat wave.
Now I need some water. I don't want the eggs sitting in water. I just need it really humid in there. So this material will keep the eggs up. Fill the bottom up with water. Okay, that's pretty good. Now careful does it with our precious cargo. Place them in. People think it's cruel to remove the eggs, but we must. Our temperature here is just not suitable. They will not survive. You know what? Even if they did, alligators are cannibals. A high density population like that, they'd all be eaten. This way, we ensure they do survive.
With all the eggs tucked up safely, the last stage is placing them in a temperature-controlled room.
All right, well that's it. But set your clock because in 60 days' time, we're going to have some baby gators.
It is time, isn't it? Come on.
At the Bondi Clinic, Daisy is awake after her dental surgery. Owner Olivia can't wait to be reunited with her little mate.
She's going to lose some teeth too as well, so then we'll be matching.
Hey guys, look who is here.
Hello. love Daisy.
Here you go. There's your little girl back. Looking at the way Daisy really strains to take off and rush towards Olivia, you can see that even though they haven't really known each other for too long, it's a very strong bond. And it makes sense. They've been through a lot together. Now, I've got to say, those teeth took some convincing to get out.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think we made the right move.
Oh, that's good.
Otherwise, I think she could have had them
A
the rest of her
lifelong
life. Yeah.
puppy teeth.
So she should be fine now. So now when you get home, you can compare smiles. See who's got the prettiest. I think you might have her. I know that Olivia's been looking forward to this moment where she gets Daisy back, but she's not saying much. I'm sure it has a lot to do with the fact that it's been a tough day, a stressful day for her, but at least now both of them can share stories about what it's like to go to hospital. Now, down to business.
What's in there, Olivia?
There's Daisy's teeth.
Yeah. The Tooth Fairy has promised to give Daisy, I believe, a treat. So Daisy and I were talking and she's looking forward to this moment. What would you like from the Tooth Fairy?
Probably money.
Probably money. Let's get down to business. Money. Yep. Well, it's been great to have Daisy and the family in the clinic today. The fact is, these guys have spent more than enough time in hospitals. So for them to be able to go home tonight happy means a lot.
Yeah, we can go home and see Ruby.
Frederick, hi, sweetheart. Hey?
At SASH, it's been 24 hours since 2-year-old Frederick underwent major spinal surgery.
I've come to check on my special patient, Freddie, and I want to see how his neurological function is, what he can do, and if he can wag that tail.
Hey, Freddie.
Hey?
Hey.
What can you do by yourself?
See, I can fall over.
You can fall over. Huh?
Specialist surgeon Dr. Andrew Marchevsky performed Frederick's delicate spinal surgery. He's hoping the 2-year-old will soon be able to walk, but there are no guarantees.
You're just not going to do anything, are you? Hey, Fred, what's the matter?
So the family want to know if they can visit. You're happy with that?
Yeah, no,
Yeah?
that's it'll do us good. I bet you will see a tail wag
I
then.
think so. Well, he's got his picture on the
I
wall.
saw the pictures.
And
beautiful.
I think we're going to be getting some more pictures.
More pictures?
Yes.
Excellent.
You can't eat the biscuits, they're for Frederick.
I want to eat the bones.
In reception, Frederick's family, Charlene, Hope and Evelyn, are anxiously waiting to see their beloved dachshund.
Hope's set up last night and she drew a picture for Frederick, and she also bought him his favourite bones, his favourite dog biscuits, so hopefully he'll be well enough to have them.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
You good?
And I painted this.
Oh my goodness, he's gonna love that. And his favourite treats?
Yes.
Yeah, you want to come through and see him?
Yay!
He had his big surgery, it's all done now.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
Right. Come on.
Mama.
All right, let's go. You're right, Mum.
It's so wonderful to see 3 generations of a family here to visit Freddie, and it just gives me more incentive to get him home to the 3 mums that he's got.
Oh, please, I love you, little tiny boy. Oh, I love you. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Pussycutter. I'm your little friend. Don't you remember me?
Shall we pop him back in the bed and you can hang the picture up? Oh, he's gonna love that.
It's now time to say goodbye, but the thought of leaving Frederick for another night is devastating for 5-year-old Hope.
We don't want Freddie to see you crying because then he's gonna cry. Do you want him to cry? No, so we've got to be brave for Freddie. And you've got to think of the best possible picture you can draw for him. Hope is really upset to leave her best friend here in hospital, and the reality is that I don't know how long he's going to need to stay with us, and that's really difficult for a 5-year-old to understand.
Bye, Freddie. Bye, little friend. gonna lick my face.
It's been almost a week since 2-year-old Frederick arrived at SASH unable to walk. After invasive spinal surgery to repair his slipped disc, the little dachshund has made a remarkable recovery and is now ready to go home.
We're here today to pick Frederick up. The house hasn't been the same without him. It's been very quiet, so we're looking forward to bringing him home.
For Charlene's daughter Hope, taking her best friend home is a dream come true.
I love him really much, and when he comes home, I'm gonna give him a big hug. He's gonna give me doggy kisses.
Come on. Let me see. Come here, Freddie. Wow. Look at you. Hey, Freddie. Look at you. It's quite incredible to think that less than a week ago, this little dog couldn't walk. His back legs were paralysed. And now he's walking. He's wobbly, but he's still walking. And that tail does not stop wagging. And I love to see that. You won't believe it's here. Look at that.
Oh, darling. How are you? What are you doing? You're a good boy.
See Hope's face today, knowing that she is finally taking her best friend home. It's not a visit, no more goodbyes. He's going home with her. And that hug she gives me, well, that just explains it all.
Thank you, Lisa.
Oh, it's my pleasure. You enjoy your best friend. I promised you I would get him back to you, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Thank you for looking after Frederick.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Hope.
Bye.
See you later. Bye, Freddie.
Hello, my bird. This is food coming for you before you go away. Last meal.
6 weeks after delicate surgery to remove a skewer from its wing, Arrow the currawong is full of energy and ready to receive visitors.
Come through.
Okay. Looking forward to seeing you.
So pleased to see you.
How's he been going?
He's been doing very well, I hope. He's been eating and he's very active. He wants to go.
Look at him. He's not still at all, is he?
No. He wants to go now.
And look, whatever you're doing, it's working because he is lively. Probably the most encouraging thing that I can see in Arrow right now is the fact that he's pacing the cage. You've got to remember he's a wild bird and he wants to be back in the wild, and that right now is the most important sign. And the great thing is that this wing looks like it can function without any problems, and that skewer has missed all the bones, all the blood vessels, luckily, and also the nerves, so there should be no problem flying. In fact, I'm pretty sure Arrow is actually telling us that he's ready.
Oh, you're such a lucky bird.
Looking at Arrow's wounds, they've healed up incredibly well. So there's no reason to hold this wild bird back. It's time to send Arrow in the right direction. It's you, it's all you. Go.
Oh.
Straight down the side of the house.
Yes. No goodbyes, nothing. Just went straight through. I'm glad his ordeal is over. And for me, you know, watching an animal slowly die in front of you every day, it was really stressful.
Yeah.
So you did good for me too. Thank you, Doctor.
You're a beauty, Marie-Claude. Well done to you, okay?
It's been 9 weeks since our little gator eggs were laid. Any day now, they're due to hatch. It could be today.
Today, the newest residents of the Australian Reptile Park have arrived.
Here we go. Look at that. Listen to that. That's not something you want to hear in the wild. That means Mum's coming. I'm your mum for today. Come on, I'll help you out. You've all hatched well.
And those little cries for help, they call out to Mum. And when Mum hears that, she would go up to the nest, dig it up, she picks up the babies so gently in her mouth and she carries them down to the water. And that's exactly what I'm doing, taking them from the nest into some water, they have a rinse off, get rid of all the yuck from inside the egg, and now I'm going to take them to their new home. Hey mate, it's your lucky day. In you go. Look at you guys, ready to go. Here's your new home. You ready to go in? The baby gators will be in this little enclosure for about a year. And after a year, they'll maybe be 40 centimetres long, at which point they need to be moved up a grade in cage. And it's a very slow process because they're not at maturity until about maybe 10 to 20 years old. Here we go. They're jumping off these little ledges and hitting that water. They're up and their eyes are out, and this is the start of their new life. Listen to the calls. Even in here, they're still calling for Mum. They know now this is their home, this is where they're going to live, and they're just checking that I'm still here. See you guys, I'll bring you some food a bit later.
Good man. Going to see Dr. Brown? Yes? He's going to look at your lump.
At the Bondi Clinic, Annie and 11-year-old Pluto are waiting to meet an old friend.
Good Pluto.
The Dalmatian has been a regular patient of Chris's since he was just a puppy. In fact, he was the one who discovered Pluto's incredible talent.
It was when Pluto was about, probably about a year and a half. He was in the studio and Dad had given me a sort of CD and I was listening to it, and Pluto all of a sudden started making this amazing sort of howling noise, and I actually thought he had appendicitis. So I called Chris and said, Chris, I think Pluto's dying in the studio, you better come quick. And Chris sort of said, oh, let me hear, and then Pluto sort of did it again. And Chris sort of said, it sounds to me like he's singing to the chorus. And he was, in fact, not in pain or in any way unhappy. He was nearly joining in the song.
But now Annie is worried his singing career might be in trouble.
His voice has changed somewhat. He's gone from sounding like Jeff Buckley to Rod Stewart. So I thought it was time he came to visit Dr. Chris.
See, I thought it was Pluto, but I didn't hear anything. Hello. How are you?
Hi. I've brought your favourite patient in.
Cool, it's coming through.
Come on.
So what's the story? What, the record company needs a medical or something? Or what is it?
But I'm a little concerned. He's got a little lump in his throat. His singing has changed quite considerably.
Well, he's actually not hitting the high notes.
He's not hitting the high notes. In fact, there's quite a lot of kind of no notes happening sometimes. I don't know whether it's just being an elderly gentleman or if there's something related to the lump or anything else more sinister.
The lump, where's the lump?
The lump's in his throat, sort of just below or around near the collar. You can feel it there.
It's a decent sized lump. We're probably talking about 2 centimetres in diameter.
Yeah.
And it is sitting right in the middle there. While the location of this lump is making it easier to feel, where it is actually a worry for me because it's sitting right where you normally expect to see a dog's thyroid gland. And thyroid glands are notorious for becoming cancerous. Do you notice any other change apart from his voice not being the same? Is he okay with exercise?
Well, he is panting a lot more like these days, but I put that down to being an older dog, you know, in the heat. So he's a little bit more breathy, and as you can see, this sort of panting is happening.
Yeah. A lump alone would be enough of a concern in an older dog, but add on top of that, the fact his voice has changed, and the fact he's now panting a lot more than he ever did, and Annie has serious reason to be concerned.
Take a look at this. That's a king cobra. That's why they scare me.
At the Australian Reptile Park, Operations Manager Tim Faulkner is concerned about one of his venomous snakes.
Australia has 10 out of 10 of the most venomous snakes in the world. The king cobra only ranks at number 17, but what it lacks in toxicity, it makes up for in sheer size. It is the largest venomous snake in the world. I've got one with an eye problem, and he is not happy.
Called the King, This 5-metre king cobra is one of the world's most terrifying reptiles. He's also Tim's least favourite patient, so this examination requires the master, the Australian Reptile Park's owner, John Weigel.
So, what's the problem?
That right eye, he's got the skin stuck.
Right. And so is it causing him some problem?
Look, he's been continually trying to get it off. He shed well otherwise, and, you know, for the guys, he's been a bit worked up.
Okay, well, we can have a look.
The king has a piece of skin stuck over his eye, or a retained spectacle. It happens from time to time with snakes. They shed their skin. In some cases, it gets stuck on. This particular snake is normally cool, calm and quiet. But with that bit of skin stuck on his eye, he's a different animal because he's blind in one eye, which for us makes it very, very scary and critical that we get it off.
But before the scale can be removed, John has the dangerous task of catching the cobra.
I'm going in.
All right.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that he's mad. He knows what he's doing, but he's crazy to the point of view that, look at the size of that thing.
Picking up a king cobra is scary. There's no doubt about that. I'm painfully aware that if the snake has enough latitude, it can easily turn around and bite. And it will be a highly venomous bite. Sit down. Good boy.
At the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH, Jeanette and Paul are desperate to get help for their Cocker Spaniel Dusty.
Dusty's had an ear infection for about 3 years. He's been treated all that time. It just seems to be getting worse, and now he's got some horrible growth in there, so we're just trying to work out what can be done about that.
Hi, Jeanette. Yeah, Andrew Marcheski. How are you? Paul. And who's this? Hey, Dusty.
Dusty. Hey, Dusty. Hi. How you going? Oh, you do stink a bit.
Yes, he does stink.
Oh, come on in. Oh, man. He's walked to the consult room, and the consult room just smells really bad. I'm afraid that's coming from Dusty's ear.
Been infected for about 3 years, but now he's got this horrible growth in there as well, which is grown probably in about 6 months. And
even after 3 years of daily cleaning and medication, nothing has fixed Dusty's chronic ear infection.
Ooh.
Not good, is it?
Has he got an ear canal?
no, it's pretty hard to see these days.
I'm looking at Dusty's ear, and he's got this festering, for want of a better word, horrible ulcerated ear canal. I can't see down into an ear canal at all. It's totally obstructed by this mass. So it's obviously horribly infected, and we've got this big knobbly growth there that might just be part of the infection, or I guess it could be something a bit more nasty than that. Oh, mate, you like that. And it smells to high hell. You've been treating his ear for 3 years, on and off, or pretty much on?
Well, pretty much more on than off,
Yeah.
really.
Paul and Jeanette have done an amazing job with Dusty. They've been really dedicated. They've just done everything they can to try and get his ear to be fixed. But I really think that unless we do something now, they'll have to seriously consider putting him to sleep, because he's in a lot of pain.
Obviously we have a lump and we have a change in his voice, and the lump happens to be around his throat. So there is reason to be concerned there.
At the Bondi Clinic, Pluto, the singing Dalmatian, has a large mass growing on his throat.
The worry I've got is if he does have a lump, that is starting to extend its way into that area around his throat, and it's starting to affect the nerves, then that throat's not going to operate normally. His larynx isn't going to produce normal sounds.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think it is worth checking this lump out.
Chris knows that Pluto responds to music, so he's going to use a highly unusual method to find out how much the lump is affecting the pop star's vocal cords.
It's probably never ever been called this before, but today a harmonica is a diagnostic medical instrument. By playing it, I can really test his vocal range and see how his vocal cords are performing. Pluto, are you ready? I'm going to start off with a low pitch and then go to a high. that effort he makes to get that high note, I feel that he's actually really pushing it, and then he's actually getting out of breath, and that's why he's drawing in. But there is a definite sort of moment where he has to try to suck air in, which we've never really seen before.
Yeah.
My worry is that this lump and Pluto missing these high notes may be connected. The important thing now is to take a sample of this lump and test it to see if it could potentially be something nasty that's growing into Pluto's neck and affecting his vocal cords. Okay, that's a pretty good sample there. Pluto means the world to Annie, and personally, I mean, I've known him since he was a puppy, so for both of us, what we're really hoping here is that this isn't cancer, because that would be heartbreaking.
Okay.
Just watch your legs. At the Australian Reptile Park, Tim is about to come face to face with one of the world's most dangerous snakes, the king cobra. If Master Handler John Weigel can catch it.
The biggest problem is that there's so much snake here to work with in such a small area. Okay.
After several attempts, John finally pins down the cantankerous cobra.
So I need some help before he wraps around. Now, a nice little safe early move might be to see if we can get him to expend some of that venom.
Oh, look at that.
Holy moly. That's about 20 or 30 fatal bites right there.
If somebody does get bitten, there's going to be a lot less venom that's put in than before he was milked. So now it's actually time to get that stuck eyelid off.
How's that? Can you see him?
Yep, that's good. So there it is. Oh, sorry, buddy. It's going to feel better in a minute.
Got it. Oh, wow.
Look at that. Imagine that stuck over your eye. Yep, we got it, mate. Let's get out.
Yeah, I think you did well.
Now comes the most dangerous part of the operation, releasing this cranky cobra without getting bitten.
Okay, we ready with the door, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, no hard feelings, mate.
Nothing behind you?
Operation successful.
Big snake.
Big snake. Yeah.
Look at that.
Golly.
How many bodies in there?
Certainly enough to kill a small army. So
Yeah.
better in there than in your arm, I think.
I'm happy with the end result. And, you know, John might still be the master, but the king is still the king.
You know, lumps in the throat have held back some of the world's greatest singers, so it probably makes sense that now Pluto's one of them.
At the Bondi Clinic, Chris is testing a cell sample taken from a lump growing on Pluto's neck.
Good boy.
The singing Dalmatian is a long-time patient of Chris's, and the concern is that it could be cancerous.
This is where it gets really tricky, because I've known this dog since I was just out of vet school. They almost become a little bit yours, like your own pet. So if this is bad news, yeah, it's going to be a hard one to handle.
In the consultation room, Pluto's devoted owner Annie is waiting for news.
I guess worst fear would be obviously if it's some sort of cancer that's spread significantly and, you know, the prognosis is dire. I think that would be heartbreaking.
But no doubt about what I'm looking at, because it's quite unmistakable. All right, so had a good look at that slide.
Very nervous.
I know. But what we're seeing there are a whole lot of fat droplets. It's a lipoma. Just a collection of fat cells that just keep on producing oil. And they produce so much, they've actually produced a lump of fat right in the middle of Pluto's throat.
So relieved. Yeah.
Now, of all the options we could have been looking at, this is probably the one you hope it's going to be. This lump is good news, but it's not explaining why we're getting this change in voice. And really for him to not be able to hit those notes when he has previously, I don't know, I worry that it could be a sign of something a little bit more serious. For him to sing, his vocal cords have to move apart together, okay? If they're not doing that properly, he's not going to hit the notes. And so you start to worry about a laryngeal problem.
Chris is now concerned about a condition called laryngeal paralysis. This dangerous disorder causes the airways to be sucked shut, resulting in difficulty breathing or worse, suffocation.
So what I'd like to do, if it's okay with you, is actually have him in where we give him a sedation. We actually have a look at his vocal cords, have a really good close look and see how they move. Make sure they're moving normally.
It's concerning that he still wants to do more tests, and I think it's really important that we follow through and do the tests that Chris recommends.
So it's a mess.
It is a mess, isn't it?
At SASH, devoted owners Jeanette and Paul are desperate to find a solution to Dusty's dreadful ear infection.
Think about your own worst earache and multiply it by about 50. And he's had it for 3 years. What he's been going through is not sustainable. Touch wood, he's in good hands and we move on.
Jeanette and Paul have spent the last 3 years trying to fix the courageous pup's ear.
Oh, mate, you're very brave, aren't you?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
You can almost not get in there to clean.
Oh, I think you'd be doing amazingly well.
Well, I
if you
haven't
have
stuck
been.
anything down there. I can't put the syringe down there and it gets part way in. But
Okay. There's no amount of medicines and antibiotics or whatever. We can spend another 18 months doing that.
We've tried them.
Yeah. And
to be honest, it's cost us a fortune. It's been, it's $1,000 a month on medication. It's like it's mad.
The situation is now so desperate that the only solution is an extreme operation.
But I think the only way we're going to fix that is to remove it entirely, and that means he loses his ear canal.
Yep.
So he won't have an opening there at all.
Okay.
Okay.
And that sounds really radical, and I'm sure Paul and Jeanette have gone, gosh, what? Unfortunately, there's nothing else we can do.
Yeah, it's a pretty drastic step, but this has been going on for so long. I think that we're happy to look at what the next stage might be, especially if he's going to be so much better.
The radical surgery is set for tomorrow.
Come on, Dust.
Come on, mate.
It's the only chance Andrew can give Dusty for a life without constant ear pain.
We'll see you soon.
All right, Dust, you good boy. You're okay. If we don't do this, he's just going to get worse and worse and be in pain forever.
Pop star Pluto and his owner Annie are back at the Bondi Clinic for more tests.
I think probably the best way to approach today would be to take a blood test first of all. The thing I'm going to be looking for is just a general health check, but specifically his thyroid level.
Yeah.
Because a low thyroid can sometimes cause them to have a problem with their larynx. My hope with Pluto is the fact that his change in voice is just like any other rock star, where their voice just isn't quite as good as it was in their youth. But if I have a fear, it's the fact that he may have laryngeal paralysis. Meet Pluto.
Hello.
All right, so we need to take some bloods.
Okay.
Pluto's going to have 2 blood tests.
Good boy.
One is to really see how all of his organs are performing. But secondly, we need to test his thyroid level. A low thyroid level can often be a cause of laryngeal problems.
It's a nerve-wracking wait for Annie. Her devoted Dalmatian's future depends on the results of these tests.
Pluto's my best friend. He's pretty amazing. We've had 11 years together and he's got me better trained than any boyfriend's ever managed to get me trained. He's a pretty impressive dog.
Another way, come on. Okay, so got the results and it's actually pretty good. We've ruled out a thyroid problem as being the cause. Metabolically is good. I really think we're probably at the stage where we need to have a look inside
Okay,
and see what's happening.
Yeah.
The cause of Pluto's problem remains a mystery.
The fact we're not seeing anything abnormal on these blood results really says that we need to act now. And that involves looking directly at Pluto's larynx.
Hey Dusty. Hey stinky dog. How's that ear? Oh. Alright, you good boy, we'll get you asleep.
At SASH, there's no mystery about Dusty's chronically blocked ear. Andrew's anaesthetising the 8-year-old to assess how he's going to clear the ear in surgery.
This is the first chance I've had to have a good look at Dusty's ear with him asleep. There was no way I was going to have a look beforehand. And it's a mess. I mean, there's no other way of describing it. It's bad news. Well, we're definitely going to make you better. Oh, yuck.
A CT scan is needed so that Andrew can see just how deep Dusty's ear infection is.
I'm looking to see what problems we might have in the middle ear, which is a big bony, normally air-filled cavity. But when you've got chronic infection like this, there can be a whole pool of infection sitting in there, and I want to see what's going on. We've got the scan of the skull out, and so that's normal. We go across the other side, and we've got this huge bulbous extension of this middle ear. All of this is infection, and it's slowly expanded this bony cavity, so that it's now about 3 times the size that it should be.
The results are worse than expected, meaning the already risky surgery has just become even more dangerous.
Because there's so much infection in there, we're going to be really close to his inner ear, and there's a chance, as careful as we'll be, we'll damage that, and that could affect his balance.
Good boy.
At the Bondi Clinic, pop star Pluto is being anaesthetised so Chris can urgently examine his throat. The singing Dalmatian has suddenly become unable to reach high notes when he howls and has begun sounding raspy.
All right, let's move pretty quickly.
Chris is worried he could be suffering from a serious condition called laryngeal paralysis.
The key with this anaesthetic for Pluto is to make it light, because we need him to be still and not moving, but we still need his larynx to show its normal movement. So we just need to get his mouth wide open, so if we can get... So I'm just looking into his throat here, and geez, his vocal cords are really swollen, and they've got some really bright redness over the top of them. Just everything's angry up there. I mean, you couldn't expect a human to sing properly when their throat looks like this. The inside of Pluto's mouth should be a nice, smooth pink colour. Unfortunately today, it's far from that. It's red and it's inflamed in areas where it shouldn't be.
Dusty's ear is about as bad as I've ever seen.
At SASH, Andrew was performing radical surgery on Dusty's ear.
This is awful.
The Cocker Spaniel has been plagued with years of chronic ear infections. The situation has now become so desperate that his entire ear canal is being removed.
We have no alternatives for him. He's been in a lot of pain. His ear is so infected that unless we actually remove it, we'll never get him better.
But it's an extremely delicate operation.
It's a high-stakes game for Dusty. I mean, if we damage his facial nerve, he won't, potentially he'll never be able to blink again. Just starting to fill his skull now at the bottom of my scissors, so we're very close to where this ear canal attaches to his eardrum. But this is where it's all a bit scary.
Sash, vet nurse Carissa Simone has arrived with a very special parcel for emergency vet Lisa Chimes. The 3 kittens, less than 3 weeks old, were found dumped on the side of a busy road.
Carissa is not only an excellent nurse here, but in her spare time she runs this amazing organisation called Little Paws Orphan Rescue. At the moment she's got some tiny little kittens that have been abandoned, and she's brought them in for me to have a look at.
Alright, so this is Mario.
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 Hey Mario, let's just have a listen. Just gonna check if he's got a heart murmur. I'm looking at these kittens and my heart just breaks for them because they are so tiny. And unfortunately, this happens too often here. We see so many kittens that are abandoned, orphaned and homeless. Okay, that all sounds good. Okay, let's have a look. Eyes nice and clear, nose nice and clear. Looking for a cleft palate. That looks good. You look pretty good, don't you? Except for the fleas. They are covered in fleas. Absolutely covered. I've got to get these treated, huh? You might think that a tiny little flea, big deal, but when a kitten weighs 200 to 300 grams, they are that small and they are infested with fleas all over them. The fleas are actually sucking their blood. With that burden, it can cause anemia and that can be life-threatening.
Just everything's angry up there.
At the Bondi Clinic, Chris is trying to solve the mystery of why pop star Pluto has lost his singing voice.
The one thing I want to do is just have a look down with this.
Chris will now use an endoscope to look further into Pluto's throat to try to figure out what exactly is going on.
So there are vocal cords there. So they're nice and open. You see that redness?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that does look sore.
His larynx is moving. Mm-hmm. Certainly those vocal cords are able to stay open. It's not the closure which you often see with laryngeal paralysis, but everything around his larynx is actually...
It's just so red.
So red. So, the feeling is that he's actually got a chronic laryngitis.
This is good news. Laryngitis is uncommon in dogs, but Pluto's case is treatable with a combination of antibiotics and anti-inflammatories.
Now that we've seen all we need to see, it's time to wake Pluto up and give Annie the good news. You look like a real rock star now. Sleeping off a big one. Yeah. Put the magazine away. Okay, so what we found, we're not looking at laryngeal paralysis, but what Pluto actually has is laryngitis. He's actually got an infection in there, and a long-standing infection. All the great singers have had tours cancelled from laryngitis, and he's just joined the list.
Wow, that's so not what I expected.
I know.
I've never heard of a dog having laryngitis, so I'm incredibly surprised. It's a good result.
Just down right at the base of his ear canal now, so I'm almost about to separate it from his head, and I can just see the infection starting to ooze out.
At Sash, Dusty's delicate ear surgery has reached a critical moment.
Here it is. That's just a horrible infected manky bit of tissue. Dusty's going to be a whole lot better off with that out of there.
Andrew has removed Dusty's entire ear canal, cutting dangerously close to delicate tissue.
Now we've just got to get out every last skerrick of infection deep in his middle ear. Gotta be really careful. Now I'm just literally digging around inside his middle ear. And his whole middle ear is just falling apart as I touch it because it's just so rotten, literally. He's got a bone infection as well because of this ear infection. It's pretty bad. He must have had not only an earache, but one hell of a headache. for a long time. I think he was on the edge, to be honest. I think if this had gone on for much longer, he would have ended up with a, brain infection. Because there's all this infection sitting right on his inner ear, and his inner ear is just a doorway to his brain. So I think we got this just in time.
Dusty's hearing will be mildly affected, but the question is, long term, how much will the surgery affect his inner ear?
As he wakes up, well, he should get a bit of an idea of whether I have upset his balance at all. So I'm really hoping that hasn't happened.
Covered in fleas as well. Hey, I know. Let's have a listen.
At SASH, Lisa is checking over the second of 3 dumped 3-week-old kittens.
Good. Let's get your last brother out. Oh.
Okay, last little man.
Little tabby.
This is Eddie.
Look at you, Eddie. And I assume you are also covered in fleas? Yes. Yes, you are. You look pretty good, Ed. Your brothers as well.
So, how do you think their overall health is, please?
So they look pretty good, but the biggest issue for me is their flea burden. Those fleas are going to suck their blood, and the kittens are going to get very, very ill. So that should be the top of our list. Let's treat them for fleas. So they're so tiny, I'll just put it on my hand and just wipe it all over them. Yeah, we're going to get those fleas. We're going to get them all. I should probably get them into a new bed as well, because I have no doubt the fleas are setting up home in that bedding. Yeah, there's one. See it?
With the flea treatment complete, Carissa gives the tiny orphans a much-needed feed.
Come here. Don't you run away.
Yummy, yummy.
Yes, please.
You're a little piggy. Having a good suck on that bottle, huh? In a few weeks' time, these guys are going to need to have their vaccinations to make sure that they don't get any life-threatening diseases. And then once they've had a full set of vaccinations, they'll be fine to be adopted. So that will be the next challenge for us.
Hey, little man.
Following radical surgery to remove Dusty's chronically infected ear canal, Andrew is anxious to see if there's any nerve or middle ear damage.
I just want to check to see if we've done any damage to his facial nerve and see what his balance system is doing. I always check it as soon as I can when they recover, because it's our biggest worry. I can blink. It's a little bit weak compared with the other side. So I suspect that I've stretched that nerve a little bit. Certainly haven't permanently damaged it. Often, if they've damaged their balance system, their eyes just flick sideways like this really constantly, and he's not doing that, so that's good. So, I mean, that's really encouraging, because I was really worried about that. I personally think that Dusty will actually be feeling better. He had a horrible earache, he had a headache, and I think all that pressure is going to be relieved. I think he's actually sighing a sigh of relief now.
Pop star Pluto is going home with his biggest fan, owner Annie.
He's a bit under the weather. He's got a rock star size hangover.
Oh, Pluto.
After concerns about cancer and vocal paralysis, it turns out the singing Dalmatian has a case of laryngitis.
Very happy to see his mum.
Okay, so here are his medications. Antibiotics,
Cold and flu tablets.
basically. Antibiotics, anti-inflammatories. So they're going to treat the infection that he has in his throat.
Okay, fantastic.
Right. Now, I'm going to speak to your neighbours, and if I hear anything even close to Billy Joel, Bruce Springsteen, or any other guy who sings the harmonica, there's going to be trouble, all right?
All right, and we promise to, when he returns to full voice, to serenade you.
That would be a delight. When you consider what we could have been dealing with here, this is really the best possible outcome. in a few weeks, Pluto should be back to his old self, probably singing away. I can't wait for that encore performance. Take care. He's out of here. All right, exit stage left. Bye.
Hey, Dusty. How you going, mate? How you doing? You looking all right? Shall we get you out and put you on the ground? See if you're not all wobbly?
Days after Dusty's drastic ear surgery, the moment of truth. Has the operation affected his balance?
How are you doing? One of the big problems with this surgery is when we're deep in there, we can potentially damage sort of his balance centre, and they can literally wake up with their head on an angle like this and even rolling around in their cage. Gee, that looks all right, doesn't it? Hey, how's that balance? Hey, that's pretty good, isn't it? I think I was worried about nothing.
With Dusty given the all clear, it's time for him to go home.
Come on. Come on.
In reception, a special visitor has come to welcome Dusty back to the family.
So we've brought Mia, Dusty's sister, with us today. She's been very lonely with Adam. She's pretty attached to Dusty and she's been at home crying. So hopefully it'll be a happy reunion when she finally sees him.
Hey, Dusty. Who's that? Who's that? Ah, there you go.
Hello. Oh, I like your mohawk, mate.
You like his haircut?
Love the haircut.
Oh, wow. So he's got a bit of swelling just in there.
Yep.
But yeah. So his ear canal used to be there. I know.
Yeah, I'm touching it.
Stop mucking that.
Dusty looks really good. Yeah, really happy to see him.
Yeah, he's good.
Obviously well, but you know, the ear looks really kind of clean and he's just a different dog. Good result all round. Thank you so much.
That is a pleasure.
Thanks, Andrew.
All right, that's good. Well, no, it is a pleasure. It's a lovely dog, and I'm sure he'll be feeling so much better. Yeah. See you later, guys.
See you later. Bye-bye.
See you, Dust. When Dusty gets home, his life will be totally different. He's not going to be in pain anymore. He's not going to smell anymore. Paul and Jeanette don't have to put up with that smell, and they don't also have to put up with having to medicate him every day, twice a day. It's going to be so much better for everybody.
Look what I've got. Look what I've got.
It's good news for the 3 orphaned kittens that were found abandoned and infested with fleas.
These little kittens' lives would have been very different if they weren't brought in. They probably would have become feral cats, and it's our job as vets and the wider community to get these cats off the street, de-sex them, and find them forever homes.
Betty and Leo have found homes. Today, it's Mario's turn.
Where do you think this kitten's gonna sleep? My room. And my room. And my room. No, you're scared of it. No. It can sleep on the floor.
Karen and her 3 daughters, Chelsea, Jessica and Carly, are eager to make little Mario part of their family.
I think it's really nice that we can take in this little boy and look after him, and he has a home.
Hello, must be Karen.
How are you going?
Lisa, nice to meet you. Hi, girls.
Hello.
You excited to meet your new kitten?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Can I go do that?
Of course you can. You guys have the same hair colour.
Grown a bit, just a little.
So girls, we called him Mario. What are you going to call him?
Tango.
Tango. Well, Tango is officially a ladies' man now. He is just being passed from girl to girl. They can't get enough of him. There's lots of cuddles and kisses and affection, and I think he is going to be absolutely delighted with his new home.
Oh, you're here. You are home. Where? Okay, follow you. Fine. Of course.
It's been 8 weeks and Chris is back to see if pop star Pluto's voice has returned.
Oh, I know. She's She's in the studio, isn't she? He's quite the doorman, isn't he? How are you?
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Good to see
Lovely
you.
to see you.
And how's he?
How was your greeting?
Thorough.
Thorough. Well,
Yeah.
he's a lot more enthusiastic about life at the moment.
It's a very different Pluto today. Not only is he seeming happier and healthier, he's being very welcoming. In the vet clinic, he didn't want to bar at me. But today, in his own home, he's the perfect host. Let's have a little feel around his lymph glands. Make sure they're not still raised. Okay, they're a normal size again, which is good. I can look into where these tonsils are at the back there. Yeah. A lot of that redness is gone.
So how are we going to test this voice?
There's only one way to test this magical voice. I have the musical ability of a 5-year-old. Pluto. It goes a little something like this. Good. Let's go a little higher. Better. Oh, good note. Going on how Pluto looks and sounds today, it's safe to say that his laryngitis has been cured. It's always going to be a risk that it could come back, but at least then we're going to know the trademark sign. That's those not so perfect pitch notes. See you, buddy. Oh, wow. Couldn't resist.
You really are the flavour of the month, aren't you?
That's my way of rubbing it onto you.
Thanks.
I'll see you later. See you, Pluto. Bye-bye, buddy.
Bye, Chris. Thank you.
That's all right, no worries.
Buddy, you're just waiting. Wait for the nice vet to come along and have a look at you. Okay, mate?
At the Bondi Clinic, Mel is anxious for Chris to check out his newly adopted mate, Benji.
Relax, Benji. It's okay, mate. It's okay. Benji is a rescue dog. I found him at an animal shelter and fell in love with him, and I decided to adopt him. At the time, they did advise me that he had a heart murmur that required further investigation, and I guess that's why I'm here.
Mel is already besotted with a 12-month-old Australian Silky Terrier and is desperate to make sure his little buddy is okay.
I've grown very attached to him. It's almost like a life-changing moment for me. I guess I've never had to have responsibility before my life, and caring for him and looking after him has been the best thing that's ever happened to me.
How you going?
Hi.
Is this Benji?
Yes.
Yeah, how are you?
Hi, I'm Mel. Nice to meet you.
Mel. Come on through.
Thank you.
Cute dog.
Yeah, he's a little angel, he is. Very naughty. Okay, buddy. He's nervous.
I know, he's so shaky.
Yeah.
How long have you had him for?
3 months.
Yeah.
He's a rescue dog.
Yep.
And when I adopted him, the vet at the shelter said that he picked up a little heart murmur.
Okay. So even though you were told he had a heart murmur, you still adopted him?
Yeah. My heart went out to him. He was in a little cage with 2 other big Labradors. He was very scruffy, very unkempt, looked scared, and he just leapt out at me and put his paws up on the cage and said, "Please take me." And I couldn't say no.
It's one thing to take on a dog from an animal shelter and give it a second chance, but to take on a dog that has a heart murmur, a really quite serious medical condition, that shows a lot of faith and a lot of belief in the fact that you're going to be there for them.
At the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH, Steve and Linda have arrived with 3 6-week-old kittens.
Are you comfortable?
They found the tiny strays living in their garage. Although the couple have done their best to care for the vulnerable babies, the kittens have suddenly become sick.
The long-haired kitten, she ended up like losing her actual balance and started throwing up. She got the runs a little bit. I'm worried about her because, like, being so small, they can go downhill really fast.
Hi. Hello. I'm
G'day.
Lisa.
G'day.
How are you?
Good, thanks. Steve and Linda.
Nice to meet you both. And who's this?
This is a little stray kitten. There actually was 5 of them. We lost 2.
Okay.
But
and
the other one's
how
okay.
old are they now?
They're around about 6 weeks old now.
Okay, all right. Look, we don't actually know what's causing the problem with these kittens. The most important thing that I can do is actually give them a full medical, make sure that they haven't got any life-threatening problems that we need to deal with straight away. All right, let me take a look at them. So pop him down. The little guy, has he got a name?
No.
Not yet?
I don't know what they are, males and
Because we're not quite sure, yeah.
Sorry, honey. It's a little boy.
Little boy, okay.
Let's just have a listen. Just going to check if he's got a heart murmur.
How's that sound?
He does have a little heart murmur, and he's obviously had some vomiting and diarrhea, so he's definitely got something going on with his gastrointestinal tract. And being this age, the most common thing is something infectious, the fact that the others haven't seemed quite right. If he hasn't been wormed, we could be dealing with some sort of parasite like worms. The other thing that might be happening is just simple malnourishment. So if their mum's not a great feeder, they're not going to thrive. I think if you would have waited a few more hours, he would have come in here probably collapsed. That's how quickly things can change. Linda and Steve have done an amazing job. These kittens aren't even technically theirs, and they're spending their own money to fix them, and these kittens are very, very lucky to have found them. Another little boy.
Another boy, there you go.
He's also not 100%, I think. Yeah, she's a lot smaller than...
Yeah. Sometimes you just worry about them as well because they're also so small.
Yeah, okay. Well, let me take a look at the third one.
Okay.
He's in much better condition than the other little guy, hey? Yeah, your belly is a lot fuller than the others. You've been stealing all the food, hey? Yep, we've got to go. So the lady of the bunch has been stealing all the food. Okay. So options are the 2 little boys that seem quiet and are not eating well. The best possible thing we could do for them is probably putting them on a drip. The other thing is that they all are looking pale, and it probably would be a good idea to take a little blood sample and just check how anemic they are. Look, these guys are so tiny that they can spiral out of control. I've seen kittens that come in looking okay, and then a few hours later they've crashed and burned. So we've got to act fast. We've got to get those fluids into them. They're only little babies and they need that nutrition fast. My little guys.
I'm on my way up to Devil Ark. Now, it's always concerning when I get a call for help. It's particularly concerning when that help is for our endangered Tasmanian devil. My Devil Ark manager, Dean, has called and he's got a joey, a small devil, could be in serious trouble.
Australian Reptile Park General Manager Tim Faulkner has been on the road for 5 hours. He's on his way to the remote Devil Ark in northwest New South Wales.
Hi mate. Hey Tim, welcome.
Yeah, cheers.
Nice to see you. I've got Kira down here if you want to check her out.
Mate, good. I've just arrived at Devil Ark and I'm met straight away by Dean, and no mucking around, we've got to get down and see these devils.
The Ark is the largest conservation breeding program of Tasmanian devils in Australia. With devil facial tumour wiping out the population, Tim is hoping insurance colonies like this one can stop the species becoming extinct.
So what actually happened?
So we were trapping last night.
Yep.
We're doing our quarterly health checks. Yep. And we found Kira with a joey, which is quite unusual.
It's just wild, mate. We are quite literally as far in the opposite direction of breeding season as we could be, and she's weaning her joeys.
We've got a joey 5 months out of a normal breeding season, which is unbelievable. We so don't hear of it this time of year.
Tim and Dean are justifiably worried. A lone Joey born out of the regular breeding season is at serious risk.
Mum and Joey are in a yard of devils that are about to start breeding. Testosterone-fueled males. If I leave them in the yard and the Joey weans, he'll be killed.
How are we going to do this, little one?
At SASH, emergency vet Lisa Chimes is attempting to take blood from one of 3 sick stray kittens.
So tiny.
Lisa is worried that the tiny 6-week-olds may be suffering from anemia.
You can see a little vein. I need to work out how anemic he is, as well as working out if his blood sugar level is low or not. So he's had not much to eat or drink, he's had some vomiting and diarrhoea, he's only tiny and he can go downhill really quickly.
Very brave. I know, Munchkin.
In reception, foster parents Steve and Linda are anxiously waiting for news.
They're just doing their best, trying to survive. Fingers crossed it's all okay.
Yay! Oh, you're all right, sweetie, that's good. You got normal glucose.
That's not bad.
Let's try number 2. This one is a little bit more of a wriggler.
Well done.
Oh, I knew you wouldn't
Oh,
stay
you'll be a
still. Okay.
Well done. All right, Munchkin.
It's proving quite difficult to actually get a blood sample from him. He's got such tiny little veins. Not a happy camper.
All right, Munchkin. I know, you're all right.
Oh, I got a drop. Right. 12.7, perfect. So we have 2 normal blood sugars. I'm not even going to test the 3rd kitten because she's the one that actually has the most energy out of the lot, so I'm going to save her the pricks. Next step is we're going to pop the 2 little sick boys onto a drip, get some fluids into them. Hopefully they'll start feeling a lot better and get some food into them as soon as possible.
While the 2 boys have to stay at SASH, there is some good news for their sister.
With the actual girl kitten, she's actually coming home with us. She's strong enough to come home. That is a bit of good news. Come on, let's go home and get some sleep, eh?
We're going to attempt to pop them on fluids. They've got tiny little legs and tiny little veins. All right, Bubby, you'll be good now.
Come on, Munchkin.
That was actually really brave. That catheter went surprisingly well. I'm quite amazed how easily we got that vein.
You go back to bed. Let's just hope your brother's as good.
So what did he weigh?
330.
Oh, you're the little one. Yeah, the tiniest one, but the hardest one to handle.
The naughtiest
pocket
one
rocket. Can't even see it, it's just like collapsed.
I know.
Okay, kitty fan.
With such tiny veins, the question is, will Lisa be able to insert the much-needed fluids into the sick stray?
Look, if we don't get this in, we're not going to be able to give this kitten IV fluid. Right now he's fighting, so it's not making our job much easier at all. Deary me.
There's just something I know he doesn't like me doing this to him, but there's just something I'm interested in looking at here.
At the Bondi Clinic, Chris is examining Benji.
It's okay, boo-boo. It's okay.
The 12-month-old Australian Silky Terrier has a heart murmur, and Chris is trying to confirm just how severe the problem is.
So what I'm doing there is I'm actually pressing on his gums. By doing that, what I do is I force all the blood out of the gum and then wait for his own circulation, so his own blood pressure to push it back in. For a normal dog, it takes between about 1 and 2 seconds. With Benji, I'm going to press. 1, 2, it's about 3. Okay. So
slow.
It's quite slow. What that's really telling me is that his circulation isn't really doing its job. It's not forcing the blood around the body to those places where it's needed, and that worries me. Are you seeing any other signs I mean, is there anything day to day that you notice that you think isn't quite right?
Yeah, he gets overtired very easily, especially on hot days. He starts to almost wheeze, like he's not getting enough oxygen in his lungs. He actually cries, like he gets tears in his eyes. I've never known a dog to cry or anything like that. I just can tell now that he's in pain. It's almost like he had a heart attack a couple of times after. He just couldn't breathe, and his heart was just going like that. And I just sort of beat on the top here, and his blood started going. So he started breathing normally.
When Mel tells me that Benji has trouble breathing, he wheezes, he looks like he's going to collapse. They're all things that really worry me about this little dog. At 1 year of age, he should be running around madly, having the absolute time of his life. But he's not doing that, and that's a big concern. Okay. So I'm going to listen to his heart.
Okay, boo-boo, it's okay. Let Dr. Chris look after you.
I'll be honest, I'm almost nervous picking up my stethoscope to listen to Benji's chest. You can feel just how much Mel's invested emotionally in this little guy. A bit of bad news here, it could really crush him.
Just be a little bit careful, she's a bit feisty.
Is she?
Yeah, she's protecting her den.
At Devil Ark, Tim and manager Dean need to remove aggressive Kira from her den.
She's a firecracker, mate.
Yeah, she's pretty protective.
The Devil has given birth to a Joey 5 months out of breeding season, and Tim needs to make sure both mum and baby are healthy.
Settle down. Well, it's going to be tricky, mate, but we need to catch mum first.
Yep.
Separate her from the Joey, and then assess them both.
Yep.
One of the greatest risks here is that Mum's cranky, she's defensive. Now, she's got teeth showing and she's going to bite. If the Joey gets into the wrong spot because we do something, we catch Mum and she turns around to bite, she could bite the Joey. We don't want that to happen. Okay, so just watch your fingers, mate, because she's going to have a chomp. It's all right, darling. You're all right. You can't see the Joey?
No, I can't see the Joey, it's not running around.
Okay, let's get this lid off. That's it. Okay, that's good, mate. I can see it, mate.
Okay.
Just under her there. Hey, settle down. If you just wave a boot,
yep.
As soon as she looks at you, I'm going to grab that tail and lift her up.
Yep.
If the Joey comes off, that's fine. If it stays on, perfect, I'll lift her up and then we'll remove him. Yep. She looking at you?
Yep, looking at me.
1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay. Now just watch out that she doesn't turn around, mate. Yep, keep him there for a sec. That's good. Okay, there we go. Hey, hello, mate. You're all right. You're a little boy, mate.
He's gorgeous, isn't he?
Hey, you're all right. This little devil needs a name. And what better name for a devil born under these circumstances than Lucky?
He's already feisty little, isn't he? Growling.
Yep.
With Lucky now safely with Dean, Tim can make sure that Kira is healthy.
Okay, she looks good. Mum's physically perfect. She's in good condition. There are no scars, no battle wounds. Everything looks good. Now it's time to have a look inside the pouch. And I can see quickly that there's only 1 active teat. Now the other 3, they're tiny, they're inactive, they're very small. It means she doesn't have any more Joeys. Let's get Mum away and then we'll have a look at him, hey? But I think we get her in that box nice and quiet now. That's the important thing. Mum's in the box and now I've got to have a look at the Joey and I just want it to be healthy. It's a very odd circumstance, but this whole program is about breeding and these Joeys. I hope he's okay.
Relax. Let Dr. Chris look after you.
At the Bondi Clinic, Chris is checking out a tiny rescue dog with a heart murmur. He's becoming increasingly worried the condition is far worse than owner Mel suspects.
Normal heart murmurs, they're very subtle. This one, it's screaming in my ears.
I'm looking at Chris and it's kind of scared me that he was taking so long. To me, that indicates that it might not be a normal heart murmur, that it could be something more severe.
He's a good boy.
I can almost feel it rather than hear it. It's such a palpable murmur. It's really strong, and it's not good news. It's a really big murmur there.
Oh.
So his heart, when it's beating, instead of it being really crisp and boom boom, it's a big loud whoosh boop, whoosh boop.
Okay.
So his heart's not able to pump the blood that his body needs because it's leaking all through it. I'm actually quite concerned about Benji. It's not like a heart condition that might pose a problem in a few years' time. This is an issue that could kill Benji any day. He's either got some sort of obstruction in his heart that's not allowing the blood to pump out properly, or he's got a hole in there, or some sort of leaky valve that's meaning that the heart is no longer an efficient pump. It's got leaks everywhere.
So it's pretty bad then?
Yeah. I don't like what I'm hearing. I think the best thing is that we organise for you to go up to Sash.
Okay.
And from there we can get a good look at that heart, understand what we're facing here.
Look, if it's a money thing, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll beg and borrow or whatever. I'll do it. I haven't got that much money, but whatever I've got, if you can help him. He's the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I don't want to let him go. I don't want to look after him.
Well, you're giving him every shot at that.
It's not really the news that I wanted to hear. Thinking about the pain that Benji's going through, a bit distressed and a little bit scared about what's going to happen moving forward.
We're together on this now, all right?
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, I don't feel like you've got to fight this by yourself.
Thank you.
It looks like a man. It does, doesn't it?
At Sash, Lisa is attempting to insert a catheter into a tiny, dehydrated and malnourished kitten. But it's making the little 6-week-old too distressed.
Deary me. This one's had no vomiting or diarrhea. He's eating on and off. He's just a little flat, so hopefully we can syringe feed him and that will be enough. So I don't think it's worth struggling with him to get that tiny little vein. We'll keep an eye on this little kitten, and I'm glad he's here, and we can watch him really closely. If he goes downhill at all, we can treat him straight away.
He's thinking about eating. I think you can drink on your own, really. Can you drink on your own? It's not 100% sure. It probably tastes a bit strange. Want some more? Not really suckling. Or just jumping the end. You're not supposed to bite it.
It's been a big day for the little strays. The staff at Sash will monitor the tiny brothers overnight to make sure their condition doesn't deteriorate.
The sick little kitten is on a drip, which is the most important thing. He had vomiting and diarrhea, and we're replenishing his fluids. His brother didn't want a catheter, but fortunately he's not the one that had gastro, so he's going to get away with just being syringe fed, and hopefully he's not going to go downhill overnight. All right, let's take you in bed. Okay. Look, your brother's in there fast asleep. Now don't disturb him. You can cuddle up and have a good little sleep as well. All right, he's on a drip and he's getting better. And you follow his lead. All right, kitty? In you get. Oh, good boy.
What are you doing being born at this time of year? What are you doing at this time of year? You got it all the wrong way round. You got character. Hey, like your mum.
At Devil Ark in northwest New South Wales, Tim is about to examine Lucky.
You're all right there.
The tiny Tassie Devil Joey was born out of season, and Tim needs to make sure he's healthy.
Let's get some weights and just have a bit better look at him and make sure that he's healthy. In you go, buddy. He's settled right down now.
Yeah.
Hello, mate. That's it, he's almost half a kilo on the dot. Well, physically, he's perfect. My main worry is that if we don't do something and we put him back in that yard with Mum and other breeding devils, he might not stay that way. Now, I've really got a dilemma. I've got a healthy Mum and Joey, and under normal circumstances, they'd be fine. But these aren't normal circumstances. They're in a yard that's been stocked with devils that are about to breed. If he leaves Mum and enters that environment in the state that it's in, he'll be killed.
So Tim, what do you think we should do with Lucky?
Well, that's what I'm thinking about now. We can leave Mum and Lucky Boy in an intensive yard like this, and she can rear him and finish weaning. But that means Mum is not going to breed this year. She's way out of sync. And we need Joey's. This is a conservation project. She must breed. I've made a decision. It wasn't an easy decision to make, but I'm going to intervene and I'm going to hand rear Lucky.
The Devil Joey will now return to the Australian Reptile Park with Tim for around-the-clock care.
Well, this is it, mate.
Yep.
There's no sentimental goodbyes for Mum. It's natural. In 2 months, she'd wean him anyway. Yep. Plan is that she breeds again in a month's time, and Lucky Boy's back here and doing his own thing in 6 months, hey?
Yeah.
After you.
So Tim's going to hand rear the baby, which I think is great. We're going to have a nice, healthy baby to come back for breeding in a couple of years, and Mum's going back in for breeding this year.
All right, mate. Well, I'm off back to work.
Well, good luck.
Got the precious cargo.
Yeah.
Good luck with the real breeding season.
Yeah. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, good on you, mate. See ya.
Chris, how are you?
How are you? This is Mel.
G'day, Mel. How are you?
And Benji.
This is Benji. I've heard about Benji.
Benji, say hello.
Hello, mate. He says a bit scary.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? You got eyes under there? There they are. All right, come on in. We'll have a look.
Thank you.
Chris is so concerned about Benji's heart murmur, he's come along to Sash with owner Mel to see specialist surgeon Dr. Andrew Marchevsky.
Okay, let's have a listen. Good boy. It's all right. Yeah, Benj. That's a big murmur. Listening to Benji's heart, you're not getting the normal dup, 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 dup sound. It's really a shh sound. So the blood's, it's what we call a murmur, and the blood's not flowing how it should. Out of 6, which is how we grade murmurs, it's sort of 4 or 5. And generally when they're like that at this age, it means that we have to do something to fix it, or he'll have a short life. And that means, you know, you've got a year, maybe, and it might not even be that long.
I knew, you know, there could be bad news, but nothing that severe.
So I think the first thing we need to do is a heart ultrasound,
Okay.
so that we can find out exactly where all this problem starts, and then we can go from there. There are a number of things that could be going wrong with Benji's heart. He could have a hole in his heart. He could have a valve that's leaking. He could have a valve that's too narrow. None of them are good things. Some of them we can fix, some of them we can't, but we need to find out a bit more before we can tell.
So here we've got Benji's heart on the screen.
Specialist cardiologist Dr. Rita Singh is conducting the ultrasound.
My first impression is that we do have some moderate enlargement of the right atrium and some moderate thickening to the wall of the right ventricle. Everything we're seeing now is all consistent with pulmonic stenosis.
Pulmonic stenosis is a rare and extremely dangerous condition, which, if left untreated, can lead to sudden death.
So Rita, does he look like one of those dogs where something can be done surgically?
I think he looks like he'd be a really good candidate for the correctional procedure.
I guess all of this means that I've got to go and tell Mel that his dog needs surgery. It's not something we can ignore. It's not something we can give medicines to. His little dog's going to have surgery, and otherwise he'll die. It's not like open heart surgery. We can do a surgery where we put a catheter into a vein down in his leg, thread it all the way up into his heart, and then we use a balloon to pass across that valve that's narrowed, balloon's deflated, and then we've got it across there, we blow it up and it essentially tears open that narrowed area and allows blood to flow.
Given the information overload that Mel's had to experience today, I'd love to be able to say to him, you know what mate, take some time out and think about it. But the situation with this heart condition is that it's not possible. With every day that goes by, Benji is damaging his heart more and more. He has to go into surgery and he has to go in right now.
At SASH, life-saving surgery to repair Benji's heart is about to get underway. The little pup is suffering pulmonic stenosis, a condition which could kill him.
As usual, you're in charge and I'll just do what you tell me to do, so.
Okay, let's get in there.
Cardiologist Dr. Rita Singh will be performing the delicate procedure, working closely with specialist surgeon Dr. Andrew Marchevsky.
First thing we've got to do is pass a wire into his heart via his jugular vein.
I can see it, right there. Have you got it?
No, not yet. We're having a few issues here. Just he's so small, he's got such a small vein that we're trying to thread this really quite big needle down, but we'll get there.
Oh. That looks like it's going. Thank you, Andrew.
So can we just have a picture? There we go.
The guide wire is now in place. The next stage of the procedure will be even more delicate.
We've actually got to get a catheter into his heart, and this one's got a little balloon on the end of it.
The balloon will be used to force an opening in Benji's constricted heart valve.
That's it.
Really fiddly, this part. Really hard.
Come on. There you go.
With the catheter now fully inserted...
Wait. Hang on a sec, just stop for a sec.
The surgery is at a critical stage.
The balloon now is sitting just over that narrow valve. It gets a little more risky when we actually start trying to blow it up.
All right, shall we just go?
Yes.
All right, go.
Ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. There we go.
Okay.
Yep. Just perfect.
He's not happy.
At this point, Benji's life is hanging in the balance. The balloon has done its job making an opening in the valve, but the blood can't start flowing until the balloon is out.
The dog's not doing well. We need to move on, Andrew. Dog's not doing well. Which part do you want to do?
I'll pull the balloon out.
Okay.
You got the wire?
Yeah. Just go really slow.
The team has just seconds to get the balloon out so Benji's heart can recover.
All right, pull out.
Pull now. Pull it now. Pull it now. Pulling it. Pulling it.
Happy. I'm pulling it back too, so all
There
right, we're good. Keep going, you keep going.
Line.
It's out of the pulmonary artery. Okay.
There you go. All right, we're done here.
The delicate surgery is over, and
So
Benji
he's fine.
is out of danger.
Basically, Benji's outcome could not have been any better. We've just put a balloon across his valve, opened it up, and now his heart's basically pumping like a normal one. It really can't be any better than that.
I'm down off the mountain and the mountain weather's certainly gone. Little Lucky's safely stashed in my pouch. I hope he likes his new home at the reptile park.
Tim is now on his way to the Australian Reptile Park with Lucky. The little Tasmanian devil was born outside the regular breeding season at Devilark and now needs to be hand-raised.
I'm back at the reptile park and Lucky's had a rest and hasn't had a feed for about 5 hours now, so I'm going to try and feed him straight away. Hey, buddy. Devils are really messy feeders, so I'm going to take him out of his beanie, which is his new pouch, and put him into a little towel. Tuck the arms down, and I'm going to wrap it around him. That's it. Good boy. Now it's time for your milk, buddy.
This can be a stressful experience for Lucky. If he goes a day or so without feeding well, he's going to become dehydrated and could go downhill really quickly. He's healthy right now. I want to keep him like that. This is an artificial milk, and this is what Lucky's going to drink for the next while. Now, there's not much in there, and I expect him only to take a little bit of that. It's nice and warm, but I just want him to get a taste for it. It's going to be a little bit different to Mum's, but if he took the littlest bit, I'd be a happy man. Will you take this? Here you go. Good boy. This is the first feed, and he's chewing away, sucking away. That's just great. You're doing really good, mate. A little bit more. That's a boy.
It's a positive step for little Lucky. But Joey will remain at the reptile park for the next 6 months. Hopefully then, he'll return to Devil Ark to live permanently.
That was great. I couldn't be happier. Lucky was calm. He didn't drink a lot of milk, but he did drink. Things are looking good for Lucky.
Hey, buddy, huh? Yeah, you're still pretty flat. Why are you not eating well?
It's been 24 hours since 2 stray sick kittens were admitted to SASH.
Your brother's on a drip and you're going to have to go on one too, sweetie.
The 6-week-old brothers were close to death, suffering dehydration and malnutrition.
I'm really worried about the smallest kitten. He's still really flat. We gave him overnight to see if he would start eating on his own or take the syringe feeding, and he doesn't want a bar of it. He's getting progressively more lethargic. So I'm going to put him on fluids and he's going to feel a whole lot better once they get into him.
With the life-saving fluids slowly being administered, Lisa now turns her attention to helping the little kittens consume some much-needed food.
That's good. Yummy. Nice, that's a good boy. You're gonna feel so much better, but we can't send you home till you eat by yourself. That's a boy. Look, these kittens are homeless, so they need a lot of love. They need a lot more nutrition and care than they've been getting. Linda and Steve have done a wonderful job bringing them in and looking after them. And without them, they'd be on the street and they wouldn't have stood a chance. As comfy as can be.
Hey, Benj. You coming out? You coming out?
At SASH, it's been just 24 hours since the intricate surgery to fix little Benji's heart murmur.
You're looking far too relaxed in there. And the great thing about what we've done is we've done an amazing thing for his heart, but done it totally non-invasively. So he's got a little nick in his vein there, and yet he's right to go home.
For owner Mel, it's been an emotional ordeal, and he's anxious to be reunited with his brave little mate.
I'm really excited to see him. What they say is true, you know, a dog is a man's best friend. And he really is my best little buddy, and I can't wait to see him.
Who's that? I know. Yeah, oh no, but there you go, boy. Oh, Bill, goodness me.
I'm sorry, I left you for a couple of days, didn't I, buddy? I feel like a big load or a pressure has been lifted off my shoulders. And just to have him back, I feel so happy. It's just so happy. Benji, yeah, Benji. Benji. Hey, buddy.
When I first met Benji, he was a quiet, just reserved little dog, and he just didn't look happy. But you see him now, and he's bouncing around and just being a crazy puppy. So I think we've made a big difference to him.
Hey, buddy. We're gonna go home now. We're going home. Benji, go home. Yeah. He's a good boy.
It's been 2 days since these tiny brothers arrived at SASH fighting for their lives.
Sorry to wake you, buddy, but I got good news.
But before Lisa gives the all clear for these kittens to return to foster carers Steve and Linda,
It's dinner time.
she has one final test for the 2 strays.
Yeah, it is. It's dinner time. Now show me how you eat. Come on. Hey, look at you. You're a little piggy. Hey, is that yummy? When this little kitten came in, I was worried that there was a chance he wouldn't even make it. And now he's eating by himself, and that is a huge improvement.
His feisty little brother is also showing he has a healthy appetite.
Ah, I'm so proud of you, little one. Look at your messy face. Is that yummy?
In reception, Steve and Linda are eager to take the little brothers home.
I thought it'd be great to see them jumping around and see their appetite up, and yeah, it'd be good to see. Fingers crossed it's all good from here.
Look how good they look.
Oh, thank you, Tar. Oh, hello. You guys are standing up and looking alert. That's just excellent.
Yeah.
There you go. Hello.
It's pretty amazing how caring some people are. These kittens were strays, they didn't stand a chance, and then Linda and Steve took them in. These kittens are going to warm the hearts of whoever takes them in, just like they've done to mine. Do you think you'll find these little guys home, or are you going to?
Well, actually fairly easy, I think, too, except I want to make sure they go somewhere good.
Otherwise they'll be staying with you. Yeah.
Don't give people ideas. Do you want to go home and see Mum now? Yes, no, maybe? What about your sister? She's waiting for you. Is she all right?
There you go, mate. Go play.
As for brave little Benji, it's been 8 weeks since the operation to repair his heart.
Come on, mate.
No way.
Come on.
Now, I'm seeing it. I'm not sure I'm believing it though. I expected a change with Benji, an improvement, hopefully, but I didn't expect this. I just saw more in 50 metres than I saw before at all.
Oh, Chris, it's amazing. The difference in him is amazing. He would have never have done that sprint ever before.
That run there, it's better than any stethoscope, any ultrasound, because that shows you that not only is he healthy, but he's happy as well.
I can't describe to you in words how happy I feel just seeing him being himself, or being this Benji that I never knew was there before. To see him happy, I feel good inside myself. You know, it's been a journey, and the outcome it's been special. This has gone beyond my wildest expectations.
Yeah.
I could spend the next 15 years hanging out with him and chilling out and doing all the things that we do.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's really great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
No worries, mate. Thank you, Nathan.
Cheers, mate.